Okay, folks, we're back, and we are going to be going straight into the games here. We have the top match, which is LM to GM, led by Grandmaster Steven Zirk, playing Rouses Is My Second, led by I Am Keaton Kira. And I'm here with Nick Firmian, Grandmaster.
So let's run through the game. Look at a bit of chess now since we're here.
Yeah.
It's
How did they get to this position?
well, this position, it started out with the Sicilian, the 2d6, and we can go back.
Sure.
This d4, okay. Kiwa, you played the unusual move knight f6, which is right,
shadow boxing.
But after takes check and queen takes c5, okay, black's supposed to be equal, but here it's just, it gets to a position a little more comfortable for white because he's got a grip on the center. All the pieces are out. Knight d4, chase the queen back, and f4. And this position actually is very close to a position from the Pirtz defense. The Austrian attack where black plays c5 and white exchanges. But see, especially after a3, white just holds a few more squares in the center and queen side, and black is a little cramped with these pieces that are a bit restricted for squares.
Gotcha.
So Steven Zirk is kind of happy with his position and trying to find a plan to go forward. Queen e1 looking towards the king side. Knight a5 is good, but Zirk avoids exchanges, trying to keep him cramped. So he's got a little edge so far.
All right, so black just played knight a5, knight d2, and then went back to c6. So does this mean black doesn't have really, is just playing a wait and see game here?
He's having trouble finding a plan where to get in on that side. Just easier for white, maybe the simple queen to f2, guarding the d4 square a little more. You can develop the other rook and plan on how you want to push for the kingside attack.
Okay. All right, let's go to the next game then.
Okay. And here...
This is Kyron Griffith playing for Rouses Is My Second alongside Keaton Kira. He's another 24 plus 100 player, plays at the Mechanics Institute in our chess tournaments a lot, and he's playing Vyom Vidyarthi, 2231 rating. Let's see how this game goes.
And here, Rouses Is My Second. Kind of need Kyron to win this game with the 200 points, the white pieces. But we have a Scotch opening, this very old line where both sides get developed. And
isn't this one of the Fischer-Spassky match games?
Yes, yes, it's as old as that, 45 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And even before that.
They still play this opening.
To b8, b3, and
White finds that he's got really nothing better than to go into this endgame.
so white gets the end game of the pawns are doubled, black has the two bishops, but okay, he's trying to get the f5 square. And
but then we get, isn't this the deadly bishops of opposite colors?
well, Vyom has traded that, which again, it's sort of better or worse. Now, rook d8, so if bishop takes c6, rook to c8 is going to win back that c pawn.
Right.
So he didn't take it. But there, Kyron's very careful. He didn't want to exchange on e5, straighten out black's pawns. That move is, okay,
Is this really, does White have anything here? I mean,
Well, see, someone like Karpov would say, oh, this is marvelous. You go very slowly.
right, right.
It's bishops of opposite color, but as long as you don't exchange rooks, you've got, and there is Chiron. He'll play like G3, so there's no back rank mates. Rook to F3, bishop to D3, and
I see. That's a very good, very trying to extricate. So instead, White plays G4, but I like your idea of playing Rook F3 and G3 and Bishop D3. I think that would have left White in a strong position.
oh, this is okay. It covers the E5 square, but it's a little weakening.
Rook H5 is the idea here. Maybe he's trying to deal in more. I don't know.
Okay, well maybe it's
It
fine
makes
if you
some
still can
sense.
go G3 and Rook H5. Yes, actually,
Yeah, it makes some sense.
maybe it's a very good plan. Something like F5 puts the pawn on White. So, all right, I think Chiron can work the position. Definitely White has winning chances. But Vio may be happy. He says, well, I'm playing someone 200 points higher rated. I've got bishops of opposite color. Let him try to beat me. Okay. So let's see.
Well, I would say that if Black has looked this up sort of beforehand, he might be very safe in thinking that this is just a draw, and maybe they're really. But I agree. White has some chances to press. It's a little surprising, but
White's plan would be pawn to G3, rook to H5 to D5 to D7, bishop C4, and tie Black up, and then run in with the king anywhere.
I think we have total players. 270 maybe. Please, we don't. I'll ask this question again when the tournament directors are here. But I think that there's 60 plus teams and 270 players or something like that. But yikes, not sure exactly. So. Actually, I do have a printout here of the players. And
I think it was a 260.
It's 265 players.
Okay.
265 players, and like I said, 60 odd teams.
And there was the Scholastic event on Friday.
Yeah, with
when
another
there were
70 players. So
a
full
good
house.
turnout.
Yeah.
And of course, anyone who wants to come down and visit.
Yeah. All right, so this is the board 3. This is Michael Tang, who is an expert, versus Gabriel Sam, who's rated 2350 plus. And so this is Rouses is my second, is Gabriel Sam's team, and so they're probably counting on a win on this board too, or at least hoping for it. So,
Well, what is the rating difference? It's
it's 300 points.
okay. He does,
Yeah.
but it's the solid C3 Sicilian.
Right.
Not so easy to win.
And a strong expert can be a significant. White's playing some system that he knows.
This is all booked
Sure.
so far. Knight, pawn, castles.
Yeah.
All well known.
White likes the 2 bishops, right?
But this is a little bit passive. There was no queen G4 move. White is fine, but takes back. Okay, he didn't take the knight on C6. So what is happening is that White has an isolated pawn.
Right.
Okay, let's.
And Black could possibly take on d4, I suppose. It's a little sharp. White could play bishop d4, and then rook d1, and then queen b7 or something like that.
Yes, I'm sure that white gets the pawn back. I mean, if nothing else, the b7 pawn. But okay, that's a good active move. You want to get your rook to d1.
What's black going to play? Knight b4, and well, just straight away aiming at d4, saying "show me" to white.
And
Always want white to succeed in these positions, So whether he can or not is open to question.
you would think automatic for white would be rook on f to d1.
Or knight e4 or something.
Knight d4, you can probably just go bishop takes d4.
Yeah, it's true.
So
A little bit of a slower move, rook d1, or more of a build-up. Yeah. Okay, well, a tense game.
yeah, just kind of well played in the
And
open.
then on the final board, this is a definite hope here for the LM to GM team with Amya Vidyarthi playing white 1922 rating versus Oren Woll 1419.
Yes,
So this
that is 500 points with the black pieces.
Yeah, so
No, I'm sorry, Oren Woll, the 1400
has white.
Has white, yes.
And looks like he's playing a pretty good game here, if you ask me.
Okay,
This is quite something here.
this looks like it was the Berlin Wall
Yeah,
from the Ruy Lopez.
Let's see how the Berlin is defeated.
Knight f6 that Kramnik popularized in his
Okay.
match against Kasparov. And then and Castles takes d4, the old theory, knight back, and Oren Woll plays very classically, like
Right.
Capablanca and everyone did in those days. Takes the queen, so black can't castle, and develops. Logical play by both sides. Bishop e6, knight e2. This all looks like theory.
This, and we're talking about a 1400 player. This would have been unheard of in my day, of a 1400 player playing. What do you think of that move, knight d4?
Well, yes, the knight is attacked. We have to go somewhere.
Right.
So this is good. Maybe rook to d8 would
Rook
be a
to
move.
d8,
but
yeah, with the threatening c5 right off the bat. But then bishop f4, I guess that's what's going to happen here. Is that
or
what did
or
happen?
just exchange. I don't really like this move, knight to e7.
No.
He's maybe trying to avoid exchanges because
Yeah.
she, sorry.
Right.
Omya, because she
Women's
wants to
candidate
win.
master. She's a woman's candidate master. B3 is a nice restricting move.
And look at that
Yeah.
bishop. It's been taken out of the game.
Yeah, this has gone very well for white.
And,
Like ideal development for white.
and for Oren
forces.
Woll, this is
This is a real chance for his team.
yes, this is he's just played completely logical moves.
Right.
For 1400, very impressive.
Yeah, very good.
All right.
Just finish up their. Now, this would be nice if black could castle, but
Right.
that's not.
Black
that's-
can't castle.
You could do pawn to e6.
Oh, just about. Yeah. Maybe c5 then, but
Yeah, maybe some sacrifices then.
yeah, sure.
But probably Oren Woll doesn't want to complicate. Gets the rook out of the diagonal of the bishop, and now e6 is a threat to trade off that advanced e pawn. And it just looks
This is
better for
almost
white.
critical for black here. Amazing. Like, very logical play by white too. Without.
Rook to c.
All right, that's in anticipation of
white playing pawn to e6, but it doesn't look like you can win a chess game with a move like that.
Well, I would go pawn to e6 anyway, because you can recapture.
Right.
And then you're just clearly better. So here's a big moment for Orn. Well, he's played so logically, but now you need to play a bit actively.
So if e6, what about g5, I guess?
Well,
or
pawn takes, pawn check,
king takes.
and simply move the bishop somewhere.
Yeah. Maybe even to e5 or play knight e5 check.
Oh, bishop e5 would be very nice, and you get rid of that bishop pair.
Yeah. Or knight e5 check.
Knight e5 check could be very good.
Black is in trouble.
And this is the game where they're highly outrated.
Yeah. This is okay, well, we'll see.
Looking good for Rouses is my second.
All right, the next matchup is the Pink Fluffy Unicorns, led by National Master Henry Wang, playing the Berkeley Chess School's one of 4 teams, I think, from the Berkeley Chess School, 3 or 4 teams. Can We Woo It, headed by Rochelle Wu, Master Rochelle Wu, and her brother Derek Wu. On third board is Sog Sai Khan. I don't have her, I wish I had her first full name here in front of me, but I'll get it later. She's a strong expert. And Brian Doyle on fourth board, rated just 1 point below Sog Sai Khan at 2141. This is my team. This is a very strong team with, I think,
This
good
is your
chances.
horse in the...
This is my horse.
You're betting on them to win the event.
Why not? Just because I can, and I like this team. It's a balanced team.
Let's see how this game began. Well, you have to like the first move.
Okay, Henry Bird, here we come.
Yes, Henry Wang plays like Henry Bird with f4.
Henry Wang plays Henry Bird. Okay.
And, all right, it's like a Dutch Leningrad system reverse.
Uh-huh.
So it's fine, should be about equal.
That's a bit of a, yeah, okay.
E4 though takes
Right.
the center,
Right.
pretty good. And black hits back with e5, which is good. Don't let white get a grip on things with pawn to e5.
Okay. And tactically, of course, black can regain the pawn by playing knight g4 if white takes.
Yes, pawn takes e5, knight g4 is
Right.
quite nice. So, and Rochelle takes. Now, white has good development, but the isolated pawn
This must be equal chances for black, for sure.
should be equal. h3 is kind of interesting. Force the exchange. Knight to d4.
And immediately taking care of that 2-bishop question.
Yes.
I kind of like that move, just because it's so practical looking in a way. Although white's got knight d5 and then can boot, you know.
So white has this great knight on d5, but his pawns on the king side are a little looser. Bishops of opposite color.
What do you think? What do you think? Should black have done this? Is this a little too
Okay.
simply played? Maybe this wasn't so good for black. I don't
Well,
know.
okay, queen c8 gets out of the line of the rook. So it looks like everything should be okay. Although,
the black knight can be expelled,
Kicked.
and it is.
which it was. And
Somehow white got off a little easy on this, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is sort of natural.
so if you could trade the
Play.
knight e7 or something,
Yeah.
eliminate the problems. All right, it's roughly even.
Yeah. Okay.
Could be a-
A tense board one here.
Could be a little better for white. but
Yeah.
Close.
All right.
So that match, though, is looking... Oh, we're on to this next match, yes.
Yeah. and that is
BC.
her, Rochelle's brother is White versus Daniel Cheng, rated 2159, and Derek Wu is rated over 2214. So these are some strong players here, folks.
How did this game start out? Let's see. Oh, another of these popular Trompovskys.
Yeah.
Things are often Londoner Trompovskys these days. Oh, but look at this move. Boom, E4, the pawn sacrifice.
Right, that makes sense to me.
Knight
Sort of.
C3.
So this is, what is this, some variation of the Black-Mar-Demer gambit or
By
something
transposition.
like that? Yeah,
And I would be greedy and take that pawn on F3.
I think I would too.
But Daniel says, oh, let's just, you know,
Okay. That,
be
that
safe.
slows it down, yeah. Probably, yeah.
Okay, but maybe White's a little more comfortable. Okay, now you're going to get in a knight to d5 and trade off the bishop. So fairly equal for that.
I like that move too, in a way, because it just picks up another tempo.
Daniel Cheng is trying to dampen the position. Knight d7. So
Despite all that, White's just marginally better still, right? With a little bit more space and...
yes, it's pretty equal though. Knight f6 actually stopping pawn to d5. Pawn to c4 is aggressive, but that's on the queen side.
I would have developed my knight first, but then knight d5. So White felt he had to stop knight d5.
So what is White's next move? He doesn't want to go knight f3 because knight g4 is awkward.
Maybe queen to e5.
Could do queen to e5.
But then, yeah.
You'll get an endgame. Maybe bishop to c6. Seems black is absolutely fine from the
Yeah,
opening.
solved his opening problems, I suppose, for the most part. Still, White seems to have this tiny little marginal space advantage. How about something simple like bishop f3, bishop c6, knight e2, and just play that? Maybe that's not enough. The knight should be going to e5.
No, I think that's fine. That's fine. But I think black, with reasonable play, it's completely equal.
All right.
So Derek, who says he's a better player than Rochelle, is
All right, so this is the third board with Evan I, talented young player rated 2050 versus the experienced Mongolian expert slash, I think she might have been overmaster at some point, Soksai Khan. And she's black.
okay. How much is Evan I rated 2050? So
Yeah.
not that much difference, about 100 points.
Right, 100-point difference. How's this game looking?
Okay,
Like-
so it starts out, we're seeing a lot of E4 games.
No, you're on the next game.
Back.
Go up. Yeah. Here we go.
Another Sicilian. And a hedgehog variation. But that was just
Yeah,
very
White
odd.
seems to have lost some
This bishop
time here.
to bishop c2.
Why not just go back to b1?
Yes.
Maybe there was the idea of going bishop a4 or something, but changed his mind.
So Evan lost a tempo in the
Yeah.
Sicilian, which it's funny how much a tempo can mean in that opening. It just gives black the initiative.
And right, and it sets a kind of a silly trap, which is queen takes c4, knight d5, as if black is even going to bother with that. You know, so it just doesn't make
Yeah. White's play has been inconsistent. So black should be fine, but let's see what happens.
I would have gone rook fe8, queen b8. That's taking the pressure off the c pawn.
True.
Maybe it's going for queen a8, but f5 is interesting.
Yeah, before black, maybe black should have, yeah. This is a committal for black to do this.
And now white is okay.
Yeah. The idea is g4, g5, obviously.
But the e pawn is attacked, so
Boom.
Evan jumps in with knight d5.
And this is going to turn out well for white, isn't it? I mean,
Well, you have to take that knight, I think. Taking
Yeah.
with the bishop. I would have maybe taken with the knight.
keep control over those light squares. Yeah.
Yes. Well, yes, that white squared bishop can come to d3 and be effective.
White could trade here now on c5,
Could trade
right?
or just the knight back to d2.
With the idea of playing b4. White's better here, I think.
Yes.
I think black is...
I think I would go knight to d2, and you
Black
asked,
has overthought this game somehow. And there was, like you said, that there was a coming back here. First of all, going back, I mean, even in this position, playing knight c5, right, is possible.
that's possible. It's complicated.
Yeah, because of b4 maybe. But like you said, retreating, maybe this was the time for black to play knight c5 right now.
Or rook fe8.
Yeah,
so that
or-
if
that's
f5,
right.
you could go bishop f8 and hold
Okay.
the e6 point.
Right, so this was maybe not the right decision for black to allow this with, and then white play queen a8 if you're going to play bishop takes d5 at that, yeah.
Okay, so white's gotten the advantage from the opening there.
Okay. Next game is Brian Doyle for Berkeley Chess School versus Andy Zhang for the Pink Fluffy Unicorns. Again, well, this is strong A player versus strong expert / master. I think Brian Doyle's been playing with as a master.
Yes.
And playing against strong players for a long time now.
Oh, he's been a 2300 player. So.
Okay.
And he has the white pieces. We get.
Is this the rat defense? This is the year of the rat. So.
This is the Gorgonitsa variation of the
Right.
Pirkor-Robash defense.
Seen even in a Fischer-Petrosian game a long time ago. Black usually plays plays pawn to h5 there, right?
Well, I think the knight move is usually first,
Okay.
and you could go bishop f5 here. Castles is
This is not the right way to play this, I think, for black. I don't know.
yeah, I think h3. I would have gone h3.
I would have gone h3 and right away, but okay.
f6. Take. Queen to b6 now. Yeah, I would have
Sloppy
delayed,
play by white, I think.
I would have delayed castling.
Yeah. Just not well thought out.
So there's a problem that
That he solves in the right way, I think. He plays bishop e3 and just gives away the pawn at b2. Yeah.
so Brian keeps his center.
Yeah.
He says that center pawn is the important one, so you can have the b pawn.
B pawn is poisonous.
Well, I'm not sure it's poison, but you can take it.
But black has to do that to be consistent, right?
But now the knight goes on a nice journey.
Yeah, yeah.
And okay.
So that's an interesting move. Not instead of knight c5.
Oh, that is quite a move threatening bishop c1,
Yeah.
trapping the queen.
If at first you see a good move, look again and you might find an even better move.
B5
Forced.
places
I
the
think.
knight.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Okay, that's interesting.
That wins the queen too after pawn takes knight, bishop c1.
Very tricky.
Amazing.
So,
Tricky. The tricky chess moves here.
yes, he's a experienced expert player. Just threatening to trap that queen.
Well, Brian Doyle clearly knows something we don't. Although queen comes back to e7 now, but all of this has favored White's knight c5 move, I guess.
Well, now knight c5 threatens a pawn.
There you go, and cuts off the queen's retreat in a way. Although the queen can retreat back along the a file now.
Yes. So
But I kind of like the way White's played this.
it looks
Yeah,
very good.
it does look
Does he have a
good.
good follow-up, though? The rook defends the pawn, and now what is your move?
I don't know, take on f6 and then play pawn f5 or something. White must have something here, something good, I think.
It looks like all those white pieces out, and with the advanced e-pawn, that you'd
Yeah,
have something to do.
This is where a combinational master like Nick de Firmian would make sure that
Well,
take and pawn to g4, even that looks good.
yes, you could do pawn to g4
That's what
immediately.
Gulko Fan is recommending.
But then I guess they'd go pawn to f5 to try to keep it blocked up.
No, but take on f6
And then pawn to g4.
and then pawn to
Okay.
g4.
Well, that's...
That's what happened, it looks like.
And pawn to g4. Okay.
And black went back,
To avoid the fork.
and white is thinking, which is a mistake in chess. But just queen d2 and bring the rook over.
Okay, that's one pawn for the black
I
side.
guess knight d6 is coming too.
Yes, it looks good for white, but if you can give black a couple of moves to get those knights out, he'd be happy. So do you see a good breakthrough for white?
Well, there's f5, and there's...
I kind of agree with you. Why not f5? You've taken it this far.
EF, GF. It
And then-
looks, I don't see anything for black really there.
Black
I
would
mean,
probably have to close things
what
up
about
with
queen c3?
c5.
Could black try queen c3 there?
I suppose that's true.
But then bishop f2
And the queen has to go back to a5.
or c4. Oh. See, f5 taking it. That looks very good for white though, but
Well, I think we're going to have an entertaining game here.
okay. Shall we go to the next game?
Yes.
Let's see if no more moves. Okay, next game is Kevin Pan, and he is 2251 on top board for the Hopkins Hawks. They have, I think they have 3 points as well, and they are playing another. They're playing another team from Berkeley Chess School. This one is led by international master Gabriel Bick, who lost a dramatic game in the previous round to Grandmaster Enrico Seviano. So we'll get to his game too. He's on board 1 for the Excel Chess Club Team 5, and we'll get to his game soon enough. But so here we go. Kevin Pan versus Gabriel Bick. What do you think of this?
Well, in general, I kind of like that white can go c4 and prepare for d5.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if that happens, if the knight can make a tricky move, knight to c5 against the undefended queen, if you push c4.
Right.
And then get to the e4 square. So for instance, bishop to a6, pawn to c4, knight to c5, queen, c2, knight to e4. Maybe both sides have what they want.
But, okay. So it looks like black is going to do that.
White might have two very nice center pawns, but black will have some good pieces and maybe a very strong knight on e4.
Okay.
So, yeah, these games are getting
They're complicated and
very
interesting.
contested.
Yeah, very interesting. Okay. Let's go to the next game. And this is Ladia, International Master Ladia Jurasek versus Stefan He. Jurasek is playing for the Berkeley Chess School. This is, for sheer firepower, this team, the top three boards are all rated over 2,400. Their fourth board is rated 1460 and was the recipient of a Brilliancy Prize practical game in the last round. But you had to hand his courage defending against the King's Gambit. Stefan He is an expert, and so let's see how this game is going. Does White have everything he wants here, or is Black doing okay here?
Well, White's got this nice pawn majority on the king side that you could go.
Pawn to h4.
Pawn to h4 would be a very nice move here.
Yeah.
If knight to h5 then gets a little tricky.
Right.
And
another sort of complex position. I think black has to be careful in maybe exchanging no more than one pair of rooks. I don't think Black wants to trade both rooks. He'd be in a lost minor or peace endgame.
and he would like to. He'd like if White would trade on d6. So his plan would be king to e7 and double on the d line and maybe just wait. White needs to make some progress.
And it's going to involve f4 or h4.
And
so,
h4 is the more natural move.
right. I mean, White could even start off with g4 and maybe, possibly, if he needed to prevent knight h5.
That's an interesting move. G4, then maybe Black plays h5, and then maybe you play h4.
Anyway, yeah.
Yes, something should be better for White.
Okay. I'm willing to go to the next game.
Okay.
If you don't, unless you want to see how he got here.
No, this is
Yeah.
kind
I
of.
think, yeah, we'll start running through the games a little faster this way.
Okay.
This looks like it came out of some kind of opening.
What was this
Yeah,
opening?
we can-
Let's go back.
Yeah, we
To the
can run it
beginning.
back with the, I'll run it back with the, there we go.
Okay, this was this.
Sicilian, Paulson, Con.
Okay, e5 immediately.
It's interesting to see how formations take structures are formed from the openings.
Not sure I like that move, bishop g5.
Yeah, White seems to have lost a tempo or something in that.
Yes. Pawn to g6 is good. King here, or bishop g7 I would have tried. Although, there it is. So,
It's funny how modern defensive technique is so much better. These positions would have been like back in Marshall's day or something, would have been thought to have been winning for white, right? Because of some horrendous black moves. But nowadays, these positions are look good for black, right?
Maybe if you just have
Unless
to
you
be
get mated.
You're right.
Yeah.
King h8 I don't like. Why are you putting the king on that file? Because I'd like to play h5.
Right. I get, yeah.
But okay, he simply oh now you have to play h5. But at least you're taking a lot of squares on the king side. That bishop has to retreat.
And the king can go back to g8.
Yes, it was. To me, it was happier on g8.
Right, interesting. And you're proven right, definitely, here.
So here's an interesting move. This bishop c8. You're fighting for those kingside squares.
But allowing knight d5.
Yes, you're giving up that one.
And white doesn't play it yet. And
Bishop
black,
e6. That's okay. That's a good move, covering the kingside and the d5 square.
so that was very successful for black, I think, those last two moves. But white's just kind of looking around for a tactical shot to end the game. otherwise, you kind of, what's left here for white to try? Knight d4 or, you know.
Black could play the aggressive move king to g8, threatening to fork you with pawn to g5.
There you go. And yeah.
I think black must be fine in this position.
Okay.
Don't see a checkmate.
And that's Ryan is playing for the Berkeley Chess School and outrates his opponent by 350 points. 2407 to 1955. And on the last board of this match, we have Aghila Nachyapan, 1838, playing for Hopkins versus Ben Lemkin, rated 1460. Remember this game? This was the game that was looking so. Oh no, it's a different game I'm thinking of.
That was a different bishops
Right,
of opposite
a
color game.
different. So what about this position?
Well, okay, that bishop on f3 is nice. If white could get, or if black could get pawns advancing on the king side, it could be very good. He needs to take a little time to do that. So black is at least equal, but maybe white moves the king to e1.
To
Bishop.
get out of jail,
Yes.
even though you're still kind of in jail.
And then bishop to d2 might attack the a pawn.
Yeah.
But I would...
Black is better for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. We'll roll on to the last match covered on our DGT boards, which is Grandmaster Enrico Saviano versus International Master Joshua Shang.
Oh, well, let's see another Enrico game. I've become quite a fan after that.
Yeah, Enrico is playing for XL Chess Club Team 5. Sounds like a race car team or something, right? Versus UCB Team 1.
Which is a very strong team also.
Yeah.
3 masters, 2,600 almost, almost
Alex.
25,
Yeah.
and 2,250. And then one player, 1,450 on the fourth
Saviano
board.
heads an interesting team. He's rated 2536, and the 3 players with him are all strong A players. So which is kind of an interesting balance of skill. The UCB team has a 2594 player,
a 2459 player, and then Nagarajan 2249, but then on their fourth board, 1456. Yeah, it's interesting the power balances in these teams. So what's going on here, Nick?
Well, I think black's just fine. You know, gotten easier quality, maybe even a slight edge out of the opening.
And this is another Nahdorf. No, not a Nahdorf, but a some sort of slow white opening. Oh,
That's okay. The double king pawn of Rui Lopez. And he's just chased down that bishop.
Steinitz, you know, everybody's playing the Steinitz system, and it's interesting. I was looking at some old Steinitz games the other day, and he didn't castle. He would castle on the queen side sometimes, and we'd go right ahead and play knight D. He played D3, knight D2, knight F1, knight G3, bishop D2, queen E2, castle
queen
side, and play the Roy Lopez as nobody plays it anymore. But it's kind of interesting.
Well, Joshua has gotten the two bishops, and he's not worse.
No.
Rook E1.
And White, this is one of those White content to swap the ball. Maybe he was still sort of breathing easily about how lucky he got in the last game where Enrico was on the ropes for.
Yes, maybe he's just relaxed after that. It took a lot of energy out of him.
Bishop A5, win the exchange, somebody's asking.
The idea of bishop A5.
Is that the previous move? Here. Could White have won the exchange by playing bishop A5?
No, it's bishop A5 and knight B6.
We're looking at it.
The
Bishop
very-
A5. Queen C5, maybe?
It's a very good question.
Yeah.
We assume that
Queen
they
C5, maybe? Bishop A5, Queen C5?
knight to B6
Rook A5?
and knight takes C8, threatening the bishop on E7.
Bishop takes C8?
Aha, you've gotten two pieces for a rook. So bishop A5, queen C5. Yes?
Maybe.
Oh, hold on. Bishop takes, let's check that line again. Bishop A5, queen to C5, knight to B6, rook takes A5, knight takes rook on C8. If bishop takes rook, rook to C1 attacks the queen with the bishop on C8 on the same.
But I took that, already took one of your bishops on A5.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, but you've taken a.
I'm trying to see why that doesn't win the exchange. Excellent question.
Yeah.
Who asked that? It was
Gulko fan.
Golko fan. Well, you are being very alert. But I'm assuming that both players would have spent some time and seen something, so let's see if we can figure it out. Bishop A5.
Queen C5, knight B6, rook A5. Knight C8. Now, if you play rook A1, queen A1, bishop C. Oh.
No, rook A1, knight takes
Yeah, knight
E7,
E7
check.
Yeah.
Bishop A5, rook takes A5, doesn't work. You go knight takes A5 and you're down the exchange. I don't see what you'd get. So bishop A5, the queen would move, and I agree, C5 or C6 look like the good squares. Knight to b6.
Rook a5, knight c8, bishop c8. But then rook c1.
Well, I think Gokofan is right.
Yeah. Nice piece of analysis there.
Aha.
Okay.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're agreeing with you, but we can't move the pieces, and we don't have stockfish, so.
Well, all right. That's well done. Maybe these players are getting tired, or.
Okay, it's interesting. The clock seemed to have stopped.
Okay. All right. Well, that's Enrico really missed one there.
Okay, let's go to the board 2, which is FIDE. This is Hopkin Hawks. No, I'm sorry. This is Excel Chess Club Team 5 versus UCB Team 1. Alex Bian is board 2 for UCB and playing Arul Viswanathan for Excel Chess Club Team 5.
And that is 500 rating points difference.
500 rating points? That's nothing in this team championship. Arul is a strong A player, 1975. Alex Bian is a FIDE master, 2459.
Look at this, Paul. Okay, they start out in Najdorf. They do.
Najdorf, this bishop g5 is regaining popularity, huh?
Yes, and it's a complicated variation. That's Black's not backing down, and
They were probably playing this 50 years ago.
this position's quite okay for Black. Knight coming to c4, where you really like it. You're threatening knight takes a3 and queen takes c3. And Black breaks in the center before the pawn on g5 hits you. So,
Okay.
But why not?
Thematic play, huh?
And if pawn takes d5, that would be the move I would look at. Oh, is there a queen takes f4 check is possible? And queen takes...
We're not sure, Goko fan, which game you're talking about. If it's this game, Bain versus Viswanathan. But let's see what happens here.
Okay, pawn to e5 and the knight's back. So Black has done well from the opening. Pawn to h4, knight to b6, rook h3, some extra defense. But pawn to b4 is a...
You like the way Black's played this?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Principally, a counter in the center.
Kept his king in the center for as long as possible. That's always an interesting strategy, too. I never seem to like openings where my king stayed in the middle. You know, I can't remember an opening that I chose where it just stayed in the middle like that.
Well,
unless I was getting killed.
Those of us who would play the Najdorf variation, you know, on the fifth move you play pawn to a6.
Right.
And they say, what is the reason behind pawn to a6?
And what is it?
Well, you know, the macho Najdorf players say, well, that's so that the king can run around and hide on a7.
And sometimes it does. That's incredible. That's true.
So you let white throw everything at you and you bravely weather the storm.
Right. In this case, it looks like white's the one under attack, though, I would say. So what happens here?
So bishop takes b4 would be very normal.
But he played a5 instead.
He's just accelerating the attack.
Well, this is the way, I mean, in a sense, this is the way. It may not be the right move, but it's at least showing the right spirit versus the player that's outranking, you know, supposedly. What do you think of a5, though? It looks wrong.
I don't trust it. Because why don't you play b5?
Bishop takes b4, you
No,
mean?
no, pawn to a5, close things up with pawn to
oh,
b5.
pawn to b5 for white.
Yes, I'm...
Well, white sees something else and plays this way, maybe to take on a5. I don't know.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, that bishop is on E1. So taking on A5, there's no rook takes A5.
Right, and the
That-
rook, actually the white rook at H3 is performing some defensive. Looks to me like black is sort of losing the thread here, but I could be wrong.
It's tactically very interesting. You can't do pawn takes B6 because of rook to A1 checkmate. And you are
That's true.
threatening the knight on,
Okay.
but yes, you've given up 2 pawns, your knight's attacked. Rook to B3 could be a good defensive move. Somehow this pawn to A5 was just too much by black.
Too elaborate.
Yeah, simply take that B pawn on B4, even material. You've got a good game. And here, things have to work out for you or you're going to get crushed.
Let's look at the next game, and let's come to the end of this match and then take a few-minute break. Is
All
that
right.
okay? This was board 2 of XL Chess Club Team 5 versus UCB Team 1. And the next game is Women's Candidate Master Aksithi Eswaran versus Pranav Nagarajan. And this is Nagarajan is a master for UCB, and Eswaran is a strong A player. 1965 is her rating. And what about this? Is this another Nahdorf? Could be.
Could be. It looks, yes, that's got
It's
that.
gone well for black, huh?
That knight on F4 is extremely happy.
Right, and notice the black king in the middle.
Yes, yes.
Yes, so it must be a Nahdorf. Okay. Well, we can say that black is doing very well here.
Yes.
All right. Let's see how
yes.
it went.
These lines have been pawn to H5 to slow the king side.
Right.
These have been played. And
that's a weak move, I think, H3 maybe.
yeah, because now it's very hard to get in G4.
Right.
So black gets pawn structure he likes on the king side, and
Yeah, black is simply better here.
yes, knight H4, and
That's a good move.
beautiful knight coming to F4.
Right.
So
And there's so black is better, maybe even winning a pawn at G2, possibly soon.
he may even castle if the fancy strikes him.
Right, that would be quite brave for a Nahdorf flip. No, but it's true. Castles is actually an attacking move in this position. All right, the last board for this match is for XL Chess Club Team 5 is Usman White. Let's see. No, Usman Black versus Christopher Howe.
Well, we saw that fantastic game by Usman from the third round, where all the sacrifices and the wonderful double discovered checkmate.
What about this?
Yes, well, right now, white is threatening to go rook to G1 check and rook to G8 winning material.
So what about black should just play F5 here, clearly.
Yes, needs to shut down that bishop,
And then it's a question of what's going on.
because that H-pawn is then weak.
Yeah.
2-4 against 2-4.
You can imagine maybe at the worst, black could play knight G6 and then knight H4 or knight F8. Or knight F8, rook G1 and rook G8, maybe. So,
But yes, looks like white's the one in trouble here.
okay, interesting. You can get your pawn all the way down to H7, about to become a queen, and still be worse. So remember that, folks. We're going to take a few-minute break, say 5-minute break, and be back.
Yeah,
And we'll come back up to the top boards from the Mechanics Institute Chess Club. We're covering the Amateur Team West Championship. We'll be back in 5. Bye. So we're back here at the U.S. Amateur Team West Championship, put on by the Mechanics Institute Chess Club. I'm here with in Burlingame, just south of San Francisco, with Grandmaster Nick Firmian. I'm FIDE Master Paul Whitehead, and we are going over games that are in progress. We have Steven Zirk on board one of the LM to GM team versus IM Keaton Kira, playing for Rouses is my second on board one. How's this game going, Nick?
Okay, it looks like Steven Zirk's won a pawn, but things are still a bit unclear.
Let's see. So White is threatening queen takes a2. That's
Okay.
kind of a strong threat.
So you either trade queens and bishop takes d3, which leaves White with those double isolated b pawns, but passed b pawns.
Right.
That looks a bit better for White. Or you can retreat the queen. The e7 pawn is hanging, so maybe you would retreat to e6. It's
That's a tricky move.
yes, tricky move. What's happening?
It's hard to tell what's happening after queen to e6.
But looks better for White. Looks like you've got at least something with that passed b pawn.
Yes. Scary pawn. Okay, so, and if black trades queens, that still, and then trades bishops on d3, there's still that question of of those b pawns.
That's maybe the best, the defensive trade queens, bishop takes d3, knight to d7, and
Try to go straight after those pawns, huh?
yes, and White can't play pawn to b6 because there'd be a bishop d4 check picking up the
There you
b6
go.
pawn.
Yeah.
So White would have to proceed more slowly, but still I like the White side.
Okay. All right. This is Kyron Griffith, White versus Vyom Vidyarthi. This game has gone quite a way since we last saw it, but it looks kind of what we thought might happen in a way.
Yes, Kyron Griffith has been very careful to keep the rooks on the board. He could not win the game if he exchanged the rooks, but this is looking very nice and active for White. That king can maybe do something. That f7 pawn is something of a target.
I don't know. This is.
You're wondering how to win the game.
Yeah.
Well,
I know it can be done. I know it can be done, but this is. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Okay, yeah, there's various ways you can maneuver in. In fact, my greatest concern is giving black counterplay. If I could get my king to d5, bishop to c4, king to d6,
There you go.
you can crash through.
Right.
King to e4, maybe rook e7 check, king to d5, rook comes down for counterplay. I mean, White's getting play, but how fast is Black mopping up those kingside pawns?
So if you do play king d6, let's say black keeps the rook on the second rank and plays rook a7, and you with your bishop on c4.
Okay, I put my bishop on c4.
And I play king d6 and you play rook d7, rook a7, say. Now if I play rook d7, maybe White could win the f-pawn with the king and bishop, but then you couldn't win that, I don't think.
There's even
Oh, there's attacking f6 with the rook on A6.
Oh, okay, well, that's a nice,
Awesome.
easy one with
Oh,
no
yeah,
counterplay.
look at that.
Okay. So that is just a clean pawn.
Nice.
A nice one.
Yeah. Okay, so Kyron is trying to bring home the point for Rouse's is my second on board 2 versus 2231 Vyom Vidyarthi, and on board 3, and okay, we just saw that actually happening. On board 3, this is happening. This has gone rather well for black, huh?
Well, nice and solid for black. He's
Yeah.
blockaded on the d5 square. So what is white going to do to you? It's yeah. So black is definitely for choice. He's trying to grind down.
Okay, and that is also black rated 2358 is also playing for Rouse. This is my second. So finally,
they've got a big rating advantages on board 2 and 3.
yeah, but on board 4,
That was the big upset, wasn't it? Let's go back. Our great.
yeah, this was game. White was playing beautifully to outplay black. Boy, look at this.
If we go back to the
Yeah,
opening,
let's
it's
go
everything.
back. Just a few moves here. Okay, so we were thinking white should have tried e6, right? But instead white plays knight c2, and that has the idea of playing knight b4, I guess, maybe. Is that an idea?
Yes, knight b4.
Just crushing all those pawns over there?
So he had to play something like
c5,
b6.
knight e3. I mean, black is crippled by not being able to castle here.
Yes.
Just
And here comes a very nice move, I think.
knight d2,
Headed to e4. Beautiful square.
g5, bishop g3, b6, knight e4. I mean, white is close to winning by force here, I'm sure.
Yes.
Plays knight check, and then this is thematic.
Yes, but you've traded things.
Yeah, maybe
somehow,
that's not the right move.
Somehow there was a.
Go back one move, maybe. Yeah, maybe knight f6 check.
It could be knight f6
Or
check
doubling
because
rooks, rook d6, or
yes, rook d6 or knight f6. I think you might have a quick knockout here. I like rook d6. Yes.
white is just punishing black here. But okay, so let's see.
He,
Play check, king f8, knight
it's
f5,
still good, but
knight g6.
it's getting passive. It's
Right, that's a nice move.
The knight on e6 is such a good piece.
But black is, I don't know, black is still restricted here.
Yes, still very nice for white.
Is that necessary, a4?
Probably doesn't hurt that you
Right.
can play
So black's thinking here, looks like bishop a6 is forced.
bishop a6 is forced, then rook to d6.
Yeah, this is just still looking pretty
threatening.
nice for
Threatening rook takes
h6
h6
and rook takes c6.
Oh,
It's just, I guess black is just such a bad game that it's,
so winning at least a pawn.
yeah,
Okay.
maybe,
She will be lucky to draw this game.
very lucky. I guess
mean,
rook
he
d6 knight.
he is not playing like any 1400
No, this is a
player.
tremendous game by white, for sure. Okay, let's take a look at
The next match of
the next
undefeated
match
teams.
of undefeated teams with Rochelle Wu playing Henry Wang. And this is Rochelle Wu playing for the British Chess School, the Berkeley Chess School. And Can We Woo It? The teams are headed by Rochelle Wu and her brother Derek Wu. They're playing the Pink Fluffy Unicorns, led by National Master Henry Wang. And this game right here.
Well, that knight has really jumped into some square
Yeah,
there.
we left off around here, I think, right?
E5, strong knight, and she tries to break up that pawn center.
93, king h8.
What was knight e3 about?
Yeah, I'm not sure why.
Why not just pawn takes? You can play pawn to f5, but
Looks to us here back at home.
oh, you can play knight to c4 with a kind of fork,
But then e takes f4, attacking the queen. So we're not sure about this knight e3 move, but black plays prophylactically with king h8, and now white seems to be a tempo ahead, maybe.
okay, the knight gets to the d6 square.
Still looking strong for white. Black is thinking, this is a game where the stronger player on paper is getting pushed around here. But what is she thinking about? Is exchange sacrifice or playing rook e7? Or, I mean, white is under some pressure here. I mean, black is.
Black is under pressure. So if rook to e7, can you play knight takes b7 with the idea of rook takes b7, rook to d6?
Then queen takes g6.
Well, if it's rook to e7, knight takes b7.
Oh, I see. And if rook takes b7, my rook is no longer on the e file. And rook to e6 is very strong.
Because then you'd have bishop takes c6 winning the exchange.
Yep.
So, wow. Trouble in Wu City.
Trouble in Wu City. Okay, let's move on here to the next game. Derek Wu is white playing Daniel Cheng. And this game, we were around here. Let's move, see what happens. King b1, not very slow moves here. And this is trying to fight for the very modern idea, this. Playing to fight for the d5 square, but weakening the queen side a little bit, right? But isolating the white queen pawn. Chess ideas. What do you think? Is this going well for black?
Well, black has the d5 square, so
Yeah.
it has to be quite okay.
Is this correct to exchange these two pieces?
Well, that knight on e5 would be certainly worth the bishop.
Okay.
I'm not sure I would have done that, though. I like
Okay.
bishops.
Okay. And that's easily enough met. Could have been met by queen c3 maybe as well. I'm not sure.
Yes, it's a little odd in the rook on c8 rather than b8, but how does he follow up? Okay. Bishop a6 could be a move. But, that's prevented. Pawn to f5. That's nice to get rid of that pawn.
Okay. Rook g4.
That was, why not just take on f5? Oh, the rook on c8 would be hanging. Check, pawn takes. All right.
White's a little better now if he can get that e6 pawn.
Interesting. Now that bishop on c4 is a very nice piece.
Yeah. Interesting. White's a pawn down and yet probably stands a little better here. Maybe. What do you think?
It's, yeah, certainly not
Maybe.
worth. Maybe black can play pawn to h6, and then you don't really want to play pawn to
h4 if it
h4.
loses a pawn.
You probably have to slow down and play pawn to a3.
Yeah, which is a useful move for white here, pawn to a3.
And maybe the game's about even. Nice active play by white for the pawn.
All right. Let's roll on here. This is still up in the air game. This was the hero for the Berkeley chess team last game. And I'm talking about master expert Saikan Chimeg Sogsaiken, who was the only winner for her team, and she's playing Evan I in this game. And it seems to me that Black is still trying to get into this game a little bit, but has gotten a lot of counterplay, huh? Or is White closing this out soon with knight c6 or something?
So we're counting this, and am I right? It's 2 pawns up for the white side?
Yeah.
So 2 pawns is a lot.
Yeah.
And there's no check, which, checks always make me happy.
Right.
So
Looks like
how
White just needs to kind of consolidate this and not get cheapoed in some way.
yeah, something like knight to c4 or
Knight to c6.
knight to c6.
Whoa, something happened. Black won. How did Black win this game? Let's see. It says knight f2 check, king g2. Now Black wouldn't play knight h1, king h1 here. Does Black have a win here that we're overlooking? I don't think so.
I mean, knight g4 might be a good attacking move, although pawn to h3.
But it says knight h1, king h1, and
It could be that
it could be a transmission problem here.
either Black resigned,
And they've mistakenly recorded as White resigning.
Now, was Black a piece up earlier on? It could be they're analyzing.
I don't think
How-
they'd be analyzing on these boards.
How did Black end up a piece ahead?
Yeah, Black's a piece ahead.
If we
here.
go back some moves, okay, this is still,
Okay, we were at this position, and after knight c5, bishop takes c5. That's I wouldn't have thought of that move. Maybe.
quite odd.
Yeah, I would have thought of knight takes c5, and that strikes me as a little odd too.
I like that to give,
d6 to the knight.
well, also keep those pawns active, because if b takes c5, there's no queenside counterplay, and knight a5 shuts down the
Okay.
queen side.
Okay. Very interesting. Okay, a4, queen a7.
And here comes a blunder, I think. Bishop d3.
Yeah.
Overlooking the queen on a7 is on the
C4
same
check takes
diagonal.
b5 check, and Black wins a piece.
So a blunder by...
Okay, so what we saw was a hallucination on our part.
And bishop c5. And then here probably Black somewhere...
Ah.
All right. They set the record straight.
Now Black is threatening queen e4 check and wins. So again, Sakhan Shemeg Sogshaken has won and is proving to be the backbone of this team. As one, these two games may have won some other. I'm not sure of what her score is. Actually, I can find out. She has won all 3 of her games. And so this will actually be her 4th win in a row. So she is playing like a champion on board 3 for this team, for this Berkeley team.
Well, that is something. That's
She's 4-0. Here's Brian Doyle. This is board versus Andy Zhang, and this is board 4 for the Berkeley Chess School. Can we woo it versus the pink fluffy unicorns? I don't know where they're from, but this is Brian Doyle is white.
and this game looks over. That knight bishop, rook, and queen all on the king side.
Is bishop to g7 a deadly threat here?
It looks absolutely devastating. None of the black pieces can get back there. The queen can't come to c7 because of that monster knight on e6. Maybe we should back up this a bit and see how Brian crashed through.
Sure. Let's go through it real quick. Oh yeah, this opening, the Grugedzanidze with rights.
So for one pawn, Brian is getting a lot of play on the king side. Bishop c1.
Bishop c1 was played.
Guarding
and
the,
then f5.
Oh.
Yeah, so that guarded the c3 pawn. So this is risk-free, I guess.
Beautiful knight on e6. I think Andy needed to keep his g pawn because now.
And opening the game up like this, how can this help black? And white pours it on.
Oh,
of
queen
course.
h5.
God, is there even a move for black after that move?
It looks too late. Still you're on.
Rook g8. Oh, that's by the skin of his teeth.
Okay, he nicely hangs on.
Hanging on.
But I like this. Very professional.
Okay, if
Now-
knight h6, queen e8 mate. That's a nice little mate.
Oh, very cute. Very cute.
Taking advantage of the fact that that knight hasn't moved out.
Oh, and this is, and if queen takes c3, you have queen to g4 check, something threatening the rook on a1, but on,
I guess you could throw a piece into g5.
throws in a piece of g5, maybe you just take it, let the rook go with check and play king to g2.
Would probably win.
And it looks like that's, you've got all those pieces to deliver a checkmate.
Okay, incredible. Black plays knight d6,
And then the nice attacking move.
king
to
h1,
h1.
yeah, boom, boom, boom. Knight e5. Why didn't white play bishop g7 check? Because of king g8, I guess.
Yes.
So queen g2 is just a simple, slow move, but devastating threat of bishop g7 check.
And black is hung on as long as he could, but that one's the end.
Well,
All those white pieces wonderfully placed. The bishop on c2, stopping knight e4, knight f5. Yeah.
okay. We are going to the next match, which...
We can call that match the...
oh, yeah.
Can we woo it that they then have enough points?
If Doyle wins and Doyle wins, what was happening with Rochelle Wu
Well,
and Derek Wu?
Shall we quickly go back?
We can go back and take a look.
I think,
I think we have to do it in a couple of ways here. This is Rochelle's game. She's in
Because-
trouble.
But Evan I won. Oh, sorry. Sake
Yeah.
Sogs.
Saikanshig Meg Soksaiken won. And so, and this game looks quite playable for white.
Yes.
So,
It looks like Daniel Cheng will have to win his game, and Rochelle.
but even that, and Rochelle would have to lose too.
Is Rochelle in trouble? Did you say?
Yeah, I thought so. Here,
Um,
go click in that. Yeah. There you go.
Oh, she did rook e7. I was thinking she should sacrifice the exchange with pawn takes e5. So what is she going to do about rook to d6? It's not. Yeah, it's a threat.
Shall we move on to the next match?
Okay.
This is Pan versus Bick.
from the match Hopkins Hawks versus another Berkeley chess school. This one headed by Bick and Chirasek and Tagazadeh and Lemkin on board 4. What about this game, Nick?
Well, I see those white center pawns, and Kevin wants to double rooks and go pawn to d5.
No
Yes,
tactic on d4, I guess not here.
Not yet.
No.
Maybe white should try to trade queens with queen a3.
That would be nice. You mean black should try to trade queens?
Yes, black should try to trade queens with queen a3.
Uh-huh.
And probably white wants to retreat. Oh, but then what's guarding d4?
Maybe bishop b4. Yeah, so we're looking at queen a3 here. What about, I guess, rook d1?
And trade the queens.
Bishop b2, then bishop b4. It's starting to get a little awkward, especially if black can manage to do something with the structure over here, but
Yes, not so easy for white to push those through.
yeah. I wouldn't want to be either side here. You know.
I tend
Just
to
wanna-
agree with you.
Yeah. All right, so let's see that, and on the other board, we found white is pressuring black on the queen side. That's in a very unusual way here, and has opened up a line on the king side as well. This is looking kind of a little dangerous for black now.
Has the H file. There's no real counterplay for black. Yes, very nice.
And I'm not sure exactly how this came about. We can go back and take a quick look here. Rook g8, king e3, king e7, b6, rook d3, and b4 is a nice move, and maybe shows up this b6 mistake.
Yes, it's Stefan, he didn't play this very
Yep,
actively. and-
b6 is a bad move. You can put that in your. So after b6, rook d3, maybe black should play a5 now and
Yes.
just and stop this idea. b4 is a very effective way of dealing with this structure.
crippling
over there.
the black queenside pawns.
Yep. And being able to play rook a3, how nice for
Yes,
white.
Yes.
Yeah, and look at this. And now opening up another line here. I'm not sure what a6 exactly does.
No, Lottie has played like Capablanca here.
Yeah, and now f4, and this is logical. White's trying to play pawn to e5 here.
Yeah, I don't know if he's rushed that. It still looks very good, but you
Yeah.
could have done rook h6 to g6 or,
Mm-hmm.
oh no, rook h6 allowed a knight g4 check. So, but this f4 seems good.
Now, White's making maximal use of his pawns here for sure. Some nice play here. But Black has brought this upon himself right here, for sure. Okay, and on board 3 of this team, we have Nicholas Zhang versus for the Hopkins Hawks. For the Berkeley Chess School, we have Rayan. And remember this game, Nick?
Yeah.
How has this gone now?
Well, it's White was trying to attack on the king side against those king side pawns, which have been holding him out for a
And
while.
White seems to have done somewhat well for himself to get this far, I thought.
On the other hand, how can
Let's
you?
see. All right, so we were back here
And white withdraws the queen, I guess to prevent, because black did your idea, Nick. You went back to g8, threatening g5. And
Looking for the cheap pawn fork.
looking for the cheap pawn fork. Okay, let me look at this for a second. So I'm looking at bishop d5 takes and taking on d3. Have to take with a pawn.
Oh, Paul, I think there was a shot that you found there.
You have to take with the pawn.
Bishop takes d5, pawn takes d5, knight takes d3, attacking the queen on e1, so
Can't take
c
with the
pawn
rook.
takes d3. But
Then
that's
what?
then rook takes e3, you just go queen takes e3.
And then maybe f5.
It's, yes,
Yeah, I don't know.
nothing
Or rook
super.
E8. Yeah, nothing super. All right, so queen c6 instead. And this is kind of clever of white in a way, right? Because now bishops of opposite colors looms up, and there's also, you get rid of that.
I don't really like that move. Black seems to get one nice pawn formation
Right.
after that.
I agree. I
Only
agree,
one
but-
pawn island.
But does
instead
white
of
have
two.
anything here?
Well, maybe not, but you could go bishop to,
Keep that bishop is what you're
H2,
saying. Yeah,
something.
yeah, okay,
you're not really afraid of
okay.
bishop takes d5.
So, well, this is a kind of acknowledging that white stands a little worse, I think, maybe. Back to h4, folks. And what do we make of that move? Defending f6? Is that all black has here?
No, that's
You can't
not
play
bad.
f5 because of 97 check, I guess. So, okay, bishop c8, and white
Oh,
pouring it on here,
three of them defending.
and more pressure.
So white is attacked, but black has been able to defend, and we get this situation, and now I don't know what white can do.
How about bishop e2? I called it. Threatening rook g6. Look at this.
Oh, very nice. Rook g6, a killer threat. Bishop to h6,
Bishop h6.
then rook g6 is not that strong.
I mean, there might be something slow. Look at that, bishop e2, folks. White is going for it.
Well, I like this Nicholas
Yeah,
Yang.
yeah,
he's,
yeah. This
he's
is-
really, he just pushes and pushes.
White's been playing very forcefully. Bishop e5 was, I think, a good practical choice, it turns out. This has been a little difficult for black to sort of successfully.
But he's getting very critical here. Bishop h6, and
There's all kinds of moves in that
if you,
position.
if you don't sacrifice,
Even rook c3, switching up suddenly to the queen side, and then rook c7, check.
that looks like a good check. Bishop e2, very, very strong.
Powerful move, unleashing the white rook at g3, threatening all kinds of things.
Well, here, all of white's pieces are very active. I mean, if you really have threats, and it seems they're very sincere threats. Bishop h6, rook c3.
Somebody's saying bishop h5, or Golko fan. Yeah.
It could be the sacrifices work also.
Right,
Bishop h5.
Nice move. Nicholas Zhang, outrated by a good 350 points, is finding some really nice moves here.
But you like that. He doesn't back down. He's
Yeah.
just going for
He's
it.
going for it.
Well, we will come back to this. It's looking.
Yeah, it's looking interesting. And this is the game. This is the.
Wow, what a change for the worse for a black.
Yeah, Black was the lower rated player by 400 points in this game.
Who was doing really well
And
at the
was
beginning of
doing-
this ending, but
Was doing great here, right? Or just a little bit before this,
yes.
right? With the bishop on, yeah, the bishop came to f3, and this was looking great for Black. But why go off the d file?
Yes.
Yeah, this is.
Ouch, A4 and let him get a passed pawn was,
Yeah, that was elementally bad.
oh, and now you wish you had traded the rooks or something. It's desperate for black. I think he'll just go down. Bishop to
This is
F7.
This is the 1400 player that is winning this game against the 1900 player, against the 1800 player.
Ben
So this is a
Lemkin-
big upset.
I'm sorry, no, Ben, oh yeah, no, Ben has white.
Yeah, this is a big upset here taking place here.
Hmm?
Can Black play rook back to d7?
Ah, to threaten checkmate. That it does. You know, we might have gone pawn to g4 just to
Okay.
alleviate the mate.
Gotcha.
And then push the b pawn. So this threatens bishop c4 check.
And threatens the pawn at a2.
So you
So
need to
it's
go rook a4 and trade those pawns.
Rook a5.
Rook a5, yeah. Bishop takes a2, rook takes a4.
And then, right.
And then black is suffering heavily.
Okay. This is Sevillano
Aha.
versus Sheng, and this game was agreed to a draw after knight d2
Maybe Enrico was tired.
from winning that nice game previously.
We just go back to this bishop e6 moves and looks like bishop a5 won an
White might have
exchange.
been able to win the exchange here with bishop a5. Okay, 'twas not to be. We'll go to the board 2 of this. This was that crazy attacking game. Well, it looks like Black had misplayed this right around here. We left the game right here, Nick. Knight c6, queen c6, and rook b3 was played to defend the knight at b5. The knight took there, and this was very economical.
And does he finally castle here? He castled,
And
okay.
Black castles.
One pawn down, you're in the game. White is attacking, but what can black do to knight c4? Well, that was an
Yeah.
exchange sacrifice. You didn't have to take on e6.
Well, wait a minute. Taking on e6 looks strong to me, right?
No, I meant black didn't have to take the pawn on e6. But
Well, Black may have just miscalculated this.
yes, I don't see what black is threatening on the king side with knight c4. That rook on b3 is a... Now, yes, instead of pawn takes... Oh, well, maybe it's a tough situation.
I think Black has nothing going here. Knight c4 looked like a very aggressive move, but if it just goes down to this simple, all right, is rook a1 and knight e3 a threat, and also rook f2? So does White have time to take on f8? Maybe not. And plays bishop g5 instead.
So if he had gone rook a1 check, after bishop d5, let's take a look at that position. If you had gone rook a1 check and king c2 and knight e3 check, forking, does he just sacrifice the queen? Oh yes, he just sacrifices
And then
the
what?
queen.
And then takes the rook
takes
with
the
check
rook
and
with
then
check.
takes this rook?
Yes, or throws in a rook b8 check.
Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, look at that. Knight f8, king f8, rook b8,
Bishop d8,
rook.
and then you take the rook. You have two rooks and a couple pawns for the queen in that variation.
Okay.
So let's see, his rook takes d5. And does he? Aha. Well, he's being tricky. This game is entertaining.
All right. So if queen takes f1,
Queen a1 check.
king c2,
Queen takes queen on f1.
and then rook b8. So,
Rook b8, king f7, and
okay, plays king c2 instead.
yes.
So now rook f2 probably doesn't work because of rook b8 check. Oh, but you still win the queen.
You just,
Queen b8, queen f2, queen b2. The heck is going on here?
Rook f2 is a queen. There's no good way out of that one.
Well, white should have. Could white have just taken the white is white should have taken because this way. The rook, it looks like black continues on with an attack after rook f2.
It's okay. This is a little complicated. Rook to f2. You can start checking a bit. You start with rook to b8 check.
All right, so
King
queen takes b8.
Oh, the simple.
Yeah, because if queen f2, queen takes b2 check, right? That's what I was thinking.
Oh, that is a very simple and effective
But
solution.
Black should be winning that probably, right? You get to take on c4, but
It's a queen for a rook.
yeah.
There's no particular attack that white has.
All right, white can play queen takes h4. Black can play queen takes h4.
What a turnaround and what an upset.
Well,
Let's go back a couple moves. It was just the game was in white's control. All this crashing through. Queen a7. So
that might just be a lot stronger than it looks. White,
So-
but white doesn't play knight f8. That's the move that I'm not sure because
why not? Yes, knight takes f8. I
rook
believe,
a1, king c2, knight e3,
and queen takes e3.
queen takes e3.
Queen, and then you take black takes the white queen on to e3, and let's throw in bishop to d5 check
Yeah.
before taking your rook on a1. And
So
I think
maybe
we're
then
just
bishop-
winning.
Yeah, there's no queen e2 check or something at the end of that makes life hard for you.
Well, when I do bishop takes d5 check, you can either take the knight on f8 or go king to h8.
Yeah.
There's funny things happening.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So let's see. Knight takes f8, rook a1, king c2, knight e3, queen e3, queen takes e3, and if rook a1, queen e2 check.
But we don't go rook a1.
You go
Bishop takes
d5 check. So then I guess king.
If king h8, you have your rook on a1, my rook on d1, but I may just ignore that.
Go knight g6 check.
Well,
And then if h takes g6 force, you go rook b8 check.
could be.
And then if king h, bishop g8 check.
Well, the king would go up, king h6, and try to run away.
And then you play g5, I don't know. Okay, yeah, all right.
But I think this line would be, this position should have gone knight takes f8.
Okay.
Knight takes f8, rook a1 check, king c2, knight e3 check, forking, queen takes e3, black queen takes e3, bishop takes check. If king to h8, I think you'd have a calm move, rook b8, threatening knight g6, double checkmate. And
Wow.
and you can't keep checking. There's just, that would win for white.
Because black,
Like queen check, rook d2,
queen check, rook d2.
threatening mate, and there's no checks for you.
Wow.
So the
Wow.
line, the line
What a
would
great
go
variation.
knight f8,
So then
rook a1 check,
king
king
c2,
c2,
knight
knight
e3,
e3 check, queen
queen
takes c3, queen takes c3, bishop takes d5 check, king has to take on f8.
king s is,
We're going to throw rook b8 check so we have the b3 square for our king.
right.
Bishop to f,
Bishop to d8 is
and then
forced.
just take the other rook on a1. So you have 2 rooks and 3 pawns for that queen.
And if queen e2 check,
Simply king b3, and there's no more checks for you.
queen c4 is check. Oh, no, it's not. The d5 pawn is gone, and so is the knight, and so is the, yeah.
Bishop's there.
Yeah.
But he,
What a great line.
so he could have won, but
Oh, well, wait a minute. What about queen b5 check?
there's a rook on b8.
Oh, there's that, yeah, perfect. Yeah, very well seen, Nick.
Sorry, folks, we
Very
will.
well
At some
seen.
point, we are going to get a billionaire to donate the software so we move our pieces.
No. Yeah, I'd rather see you work that out in my head with you, Nick. I really would. So let's see what was played. Bishop d5.
Bishop d5 looks terrific, except rook d5 is a great shot. This rook on f8 is still alive.
Okay, so what did White play then? White played rook d5. Was there another move? Queen takes c4? Oh, then queen a1 check and make next move.
Yes.
So rook d5, rook f1 check.
This
Brilliant
great shot. Terrific
King
shot that he
c2,
overlooked.
Rook f2, just like we thought, and White finds rook d2 because, and that's actually a good move, isn't it?
It's the best move in the position.
Yeah, because if rook b8 check, queen takes b8. The calm queen takes b8, queen f2, then queen takes b2 check. All right, so rook d2.
Now, you have 2 choices. You could go knight takes d2.
And then rook b8 check.
Now we throw in rook b8 check, but now we wouldn't take it.
Oh, this is too complicated for me.
It's,
He just takes the queen. You can't blame him for that.
okay, he takes the, I mean,
And
it should
does
be
black
winning.
have a good move here?
Well, he's got an extra bishop,
Right.
but it's for 3 pawns.
Yeah, this is the game enters a new phase.
Oh, but queen a4 is a nice move. Pinning that rook, threatening knight to a3.
This A player is playing the game of his life
Fantastic.
right now. Our rule. Is playing, and not only that, but he has the FIDE master, Alex. In fact, it's resigned.
Well, it's going to be a queen for a rook after knight d4, knight a4.
And what if rook e4, then knight a3 check would win something?
So, wonderful
What
game.
what an upset. A really nice game by black and a huge upset for the
XL Chess Club Team 5. And they seem to be making a habit of being scrappy fighters like Sevillano and now Errol Viswanathan in this game. And let's go take a quick look at, we know what happened in the Sevillano game. That game was a draw. Let's see how this game was going. Oh, this was a dominating game for black.
I think we can continue a bit quickly. One pawn, attack the exchange. He's up a clear pawn. Oh, I don't like giving up my wonderful knight. But it's, oh, f4, nice move. Maybe you just go pawn to f5. Then knight d2. She's got some chances now.
So White's fighting back as well as best she can in this position. It looked worse a little while ago.
f4 was a
Yeah.
nice move.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go on to the last board of this, and Uzaman,
The hero.
the hero of last round, or one of the winners of the last round. And this is proving to be a really scrappy team, this XL Chess Club Team 5. With these three very good A players matched up with the Grandmaster Sevillano.
So this was an interesting ending, and Sheik plays this very nicely.
Yeah, we saw this where the white pawn.
Check. And, oh, this nice rook d2 check. And trades and coming back. Very calm and brave. And attacking that pawn to f5. And we were wondering, could
Right.
he round up? Oh, that rook check seems premature.
Yeah, it does.
Knight-
Giving black two tempo, I think. That did not look right.
king.
Wants to play bishop g8, but that's not going to.
Well, he should play bishop g8.
Does. Black, there's something very comical about this. I'm sorry.
So now what move would be good? Maybe f4. But yes, this is winning a pawn.
Black is determined to take that pawn off at all costs, and is about to do so.
Okay.
That
yes.
rook g5 just put the white rook on a bad square,
Yes,
I think.
that's now
yeah,
it has.
that was not good. And it's just even
now
on
it
a
has-
worse square,
And so. gone
making
back.
this completely easier, much
Yes.
easier for black. So in one way or another, this must be one for black, wouldn't you say?
Yes. And that's a nice calm move. Hold that d6 pawn, and now it's just very easy. And he can resign. Those f and e pawns are just marching down.
Wow. Ashik Uzaman. We're calling this match right now probably a win for the XL Chess Club Team 5, with Errol having already won on board 2, Sevillano drawing on board 1, and then, well, it was still not clear.
But let's go back to our top matches.
Okay.
See,
Do you want to just take one last look at the? Oh yeah. Actually, we've done it, all the matches. I think there was one more match we could look at here. Shall we look at this?
Oh, Jimmy
quickly?
Dean, James Dean, but that's the next match.
Yeah. Complicated. All right, we'll just run through these games really quickly. This game was already drawn in this position.
Some of the players get tired, you know, with the
Okay.
weekend of chess.
This is looking like a win for white.
Yes,
And that
2 extra pawns.
for the Power Monks over the Hopkins Junior High Hawks. These teams both have 2.5 points. And then
a complicated situation here on board 4 of this.
That's a good description.
Okay. All right. Thanks everybody who is watching this broadcast here. We are in Burlingame, providing FIDE Master Paul Whitehead. I'm with Grandmaster Nicholas Firmian, and we are studying and trying to learn something from the games from the U.S. Amateur Team West Championship in Burlingame, hosted by the Mechanics Institute Chess Club. Find us at chessclub.org.
We just got some news from International Master Elliot Winslow that Aziz Uzaman is now a U.S. citizen along with his wife. So
Congratulations.
congratulations, Aziz. But let's see what's
Okay, let's go up to
happening.
board 1, right? Zurich versus.
They're still all fighting on.
Okay. So this is LM to GM team versus Rouses is my second. Steven Zurich versus Keaton Kiara. Sorry for mispronouncing your name, sir. Let's see how this match, what do you think of this game?
Yeah, okay, so black is fighting well to try to get rid of one of those B pawns, but still an edge for white. It's
Okay.
even if he loses one, could be.
On board 2, we had Kyron Griffith, who was in the process of winning a pawn. Let's see, but then I guess it didn't quite pan out that way.
I guess he can. Okay, he had to go. Bishop.
So, did he have to play bishop c4? Okay, can't play rook f6 because
Pawn to d3.
pawn to c4?
No, he's patient. He can win that pawn anytime on
Okay.
f6. So he first brings all the kingside pawns up. Oh, but now he can't win the pawn because rook f6, bishop. Oh, but he could. Rook f6, bishop f4. Rook f7. Would that be a drawn? Yeah, that would be a drawn ending. Okay, so there's too much finesse with pawn to g4, bishop c1.
Was there an issue with, let's just go back right before white plays g4. Is there an issue with the bishop on d3 playing rook f6 and black playing pawn to c4?
I don't think that would be the issue. If bishop to d3, you would play bishop to c3.
And then if rook f6, I'm saying what about pawn to c4 then?
And pawn takes.
And then rook c5 check.
Aha. Oh, Paul, very
so
nice.
maybe it's impossible to take that tactically, to take the
Well, then Chiron has weakened himself on the king side. The white king can't ever just run to the queen side now with that loose pawn.
and black plays with the idea of coming in himself.
Oh, I think he's screwed it up. It's not enough to win anymore.
Probably has to watch out for black playing c4 himself and the same rook c5 check idea.
Yes. This kingside pawn advance is hurt white, and the position should now turn into a draw. But
Okay.
very nice, you that trick of pawn to c4 and rook c5 check.
Well, if there's a cheapo, I'll try to find it.
Well, it's how you win the games.
This is the board 3 in this top match. Michael Tang rated 2049 versus Gabriel Sam rated 2358. And we thought black was maybe making some little bit of progress here for a while. But then this, okay, so now there's this change where black takes on e3.
So still a little nicer for black having the one pawn island against the
Oh,
two.
there's a DGT mistakes going on here, where after rook c7, we get this bizarre sequence of moves that bear no resemblance to reality. So we're going to move on to board 4 of these two teams, where white is Omya Vidyarthi and black is Oren Wall. This is a huge rating difference.
And this was our great, we go back to this position.
Yeah,
Knight
white
f5
played like a genius.
takes
Let's see
a4
what happened.
and rook d6, and we were saying, oh, well, this is terrific.
This is a 1400 player, like, wow, okay.
So
What's going on now?
he was doing really well. Bishop, okay. Knight comes
Little
back.
counterplay.
And unfortunately, counterplay on that b.
Yeah, is strong. And the knight on e6 is strong, and black is getting
Yes.
somewhere. So what happens here?
What a turnaround.
Yeah, let's keep going.
And that's
Boom.
f4.
This looks
but
like the
that's-
wrong idea.
Yes.
Starting to show some.
The rating difference.
Oh, king g7, okay. Starting to show the rating difference. Black's got a pawn, a passed pawn, and white's moving back and forth. Maybe black is feeling like I can play for a win now, and tries rook b2 with the threat of bishop f1. That's still quite,
Oh, and then
yeah,
knight
this is
comes
kind of
in,
a bit of an overwhelming idea.
And now,
Pawn to e6.
okay, at least
And that's
pawn
what
d6.
happened.
Okay. Oh, what was that move?
Taking a rook. But then
That's a
rook f7
rook, but-
check. Rook f7 check.
You have to start with rook f7 check.
Yeah.
You don't even think about it.
Okay.
And okay, one way is checkmate, so you have to go king g6, and
And that checkmate was king g8, knight e7 for you folks, or knight f6 even.
now we'll go a little slowly because we could go rook f6 check, trying to force that king into a bad situation. We
That
can-
would not be very neighborly of you. But knight e3 with the knight e3.
knight d3 maybe threatens f5 check.
If black can survive this, she will win with that passed pawn at c4, trying to come in. So
Oh, this is very, no, actually maybe knight e3, rook to e2, pawn to f5 check. The bishop takes on f5. Knight takes f5, rook takes e6. So knight e3, rook e2 looks like trouble for white. Maybe you should first throw in rook f6 check, king h5 if you want to play to win, and then knight takes e3.
So then it's scary with the black king in such a vulnerable spot, but if you can't mate, then I'm going to try to make a queen, right?
Yes, that's well, I think orange should throw in rook to f6 check. Very double-edged, exciting endgame.
This has been a great game by Oren Wool, for sure. Okay, top board then now in
Oh, poor Rochelle Wu. She's been suffering, and this game looks like it's
this
over.
is Henry Wang really playing a great game here, or at least we left it back here when black looked like she was in a lot of trouble, and nothing really changed. Okay, that was a nice little shot. Rook b6, I guess, so that if bishop takes a8, rook takes d6.
Okay.
So, but white is playing calmly here. The rook was threatened there, and then switches the attack this way.
Oh, and a very nice sacrifice of the bishop to get that pawn to e7. And just, that's too much.
This wins the queen.
And it's going to win more than just a queen for a rook.
Yeah.
Now threatening rook takes e8 and rook to
G8. Yeah.
so yeah, this game is over.
Wow. An upset. Can Rochelle's brother has won the pawn back, but black has a very active position, but white has the potential for a passed pawn here. This is a classy looking endgame here.
Yeah, very double-edged.
Interesting.
Oh, but they've drawn.
They've drawn. Okay, so I'm not even going to bother. It looks to me like somebody is better here. What do you think? What do you think, Nick?
Yes, maybe knight to c4. And then the bishop goes to e2, perhaps.
All right, well, that game was drawn. And we know what the result of this game, and the other game was Doyle won. So actually, Doyle won that game. That was a resignation.
So even though Rochelle Wu lost,
Even though Rochelle Wu is lost, the BCS Can We Woo It team has won the match.
okay, yeah, the result isn't given yet for
Right.
Brian Doyle, but we know he won that.
Okay, so
position.
we've coming up to the end of at least one of the matches there, and that's BCS Can We Woo It is pretty much
Yes, they've edged out the puffy,
yeah, they've won.
pink
They've
fluffy
won the
unicorns, 2.5, 1.5.
okay, and on the Hopkin Hawks versus Best Chess School team from Berkeley. This is Pan versus Bick, and
Ooh.
is black about to start gobbling up white's pawn center, starting with knight b3?
All those lovely white pawns, but they may not last long enough.
Yeah.
The-
And this is some time pressure on black here for the international master, who was also, by the way, is in desperate time pressure, apparently in the last game as well. I mean, it's hard to see white losing this.
Well, except that the B and C pawns are under attack.
Right, so let's say all those pawns get eliminated, all the 6 pawns on the queen side get eliminated, and maybe black can win with some weak, against the weak white pawns on the king side or something. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I think white could bail out some sort of things.
Starting with knight b4 or something, I don't know.
Well, knight takes b4, then knight takes b3.
Followed by b takes c4, right, or something. Well, we're getting our wish. Now knight b3, maybe rook c, I don't know. Didn't play knight d4, played knight b4.
Yes, that may happen. Knight takes b3, rook to c2, pawn takes c4, rook takes c4, bishop takes d5, knight takes d5, rook takes d5, rook takes d5, rook takes d5, rook takes c7 with 3 pawns against 3 pawns.
Well, that would be my boring outcome.
Slightly better for white. but,
Okay. All right, let's go to the next board where Ladia Jurasek was giving
giving a
Yes, the end game
Got
squeeze.
the BCS team.
hey.
You guys won.
Pulled off the win.
Yeah. Again, Brian Doyle and Rochelle Wu here.
Weekend with 2.5.
Yeah, you guys are.
Please sit down.
Yeah. And
We need you guys in the.
Congratulations. yeah. Here is
Actually,
the.
why don't I get up so they can
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should I take the?
take this one? Yeah.
Good. Congratulations.
Thank
You've
you.
won 4 games, right? Yeah. Okay, so here you go.
Oh, thank you.
Try that. And just share this.
Fine.
Okay. Congratulations, you folks. Are any games that you want to look at or
Not my
comments?
Just
games.
not mine, please.
Not my
Well,
We can look at mine if you want.
Yeah, let's look at. Yeah, that was a
All right,
killer game.
okay, we'll look
Mine
at
was
Brian
fun.
Doyle's
That was
game here. We're with the Berkeley Chess School Can We Woo It team here.
That's right.
And they are definitely wooing it. Where's the Brian Doyle
I'm
game?
wooing.
Right here. Okay.
I just have a question, Brian. Did you have red bloody meat for lunch today?
Well, Andy's young. He's good friends with Henry Wayne. And I played Henry in Vegas, and I blundered the opening. And I thought maybe he showed him the opening because I blundered in Vegas. But I had an improvement. So I just walked right into the line. He played exactly the way Henry does, but then I had my move that doesn't blunder,
Oh,
which was nice.
Okay.
Big
well,
improvement.
yeah.
F4 maybe isn't good, but I like it.
Sure. Fisher played it against Petrosian.
Yeah.
How bad can it be?
I'm out of book after G6, so I have nothing to say here.
Usually, the way I've always seen it is with black playing H5 there first.
Oh yeah,
So-
there's a crazy line. I think white sacks a piece. I studied it and I forgot everything.
Oh, there's actually theory here. That's
Yeah, there's
That
crazy
just
shit.
shows what I don't know. So to me, it looks like black just sort of lets himself in for it with this.
yeah. I just know that people like Magnus and Naka are popularizing this in like online blitz and stuff.
For black
yeah, for black.
against,
Pretty much
Weaker.
everything. Like
Right.
they just play C6, D5, G6 against everything.
okay.
And then here, he played bishop takes F3, and in Vegas, I blundered against Henry Wayne. I
Playing,
immediately played queen takes F3.
Oh, E5 thinking, right?
Yeah, and then he took on E5 twice, and I
Why
was
would
like,
you do that?
because I played quickly.
yeah.
But I did get a miracle draw in that game.
Wow.
I had a miracle perpetual
Wow,
at the end.
wow. Okay, so rook F3,
Is correct.
sure. And
Yeah.
this just doesn't look right for black. I mean,
Yeah, I always thought, I have 2 bishops. I should always have comp for the pawn at least.
sure, as well as a nice attack.
Yeah, and then I don't know about C3, but I'm trying to trap this
Maybe
queen.
knight C5
I
too.
mean,
Yeah, maybe knight C5 immediately, but here, the point is B5, bishop C2, B takes A5, bishop C1, traps the queen.
Yeah, this is a great conception,
Yeah,
or very interesting try. Very creative.
but he sees it, of course, he plays E6.
Right,
Well, yeah,
but
what
then,
else would you play bishop c2?
oh,
Yeah.
no.
right, bishop C2.
Bishop
And they're
C2,
like,
okay.
whoa, I'm not threatening anything.
Rook E8.
Yeah, I mean,
And here I
this
wanted
is-
to make bishop A4 work, but of course it doesn't because the queen takes C3.
wow, bishop A4, okay.
Yeah, it'd
Can you
be
zero
beautiful if it
comp?
worked, but unfortunately queen takes C3 and his queen gets out of there.
Nice thoughts though. You were definitely in creative mode.
Maybe
in
knight
this
A4.
game.
Knight A4.
That lets the queen out the other way.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
And of course, I'm always thinking about C4 and all the different things.
Yeah.
Here, G4. Yeah, and then with the 2 bishops, Grandmaster Jesse Cry always said, trade all the pawns and the bishops will scream.
Okay.
So I'm just following. Bishop C1, I feel like it's a bad move. Like, I'm worried about the C3 pawn, but it's like undeveloping.
I like that move.
You like Bishop C1?
Yes.
Oh, it's Grandmaster approved then.
Okay, Grandmaster approved.
Sometimes you can't go too fast.
Yeah.
It just doesn't quite work. So you
Right.
consolidate it a little bit.
And then I'm just following Jesse Cry's advice.
Yeah.
Trade everything and the bishops will scream. So trade all the
Now,
pawns.
G takes F5 I thought was wrong, that
Right.
somehow he needs that G pawn
I was
to,
expecting E
It
takes
was the E
F5.
pawn?
yes,
So
And
rook
then
C3,
pawn to
queen F5?
G5.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so e takes f5 and then pawn to g5.
Right, but I'm still like pressing. I got rook g3, queen h5, h4. I'm still going to attack him.
Uh-huh.
And the knight to e6.
Exactly. Yeah. Right, knight e6.
Why
I
not
don't-
rook g3, queen h5?
Rook g3. There's
Is he going king f8?
yeah, king f8. I couldn't calculate, and so I did the lazy man. And
Well, I mean, okay, so let's say rook g3, king f8, like a4, bishop a3.
okay, you're like quoting all the best moves. I wasn't able to combine my ideas on the queen side and the king side, like I should have. It's one of my big weaknesses. Grandmaster Igor Ivanov always said that I was horrible at playing the entire board. Like
I
I'm
think
supposed
both worked. Rook g3 or knight, b6. Still good move.
to. Yeah, rook to g3's got to be better than my move.
But the knight belongs on e6.
Eventually,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
So black should be defenseless here, I think, with his pieces undeveloped and you've
Knight
got,
to d7, I think, is his best try.
yeah.
Oh,
Open-
that is
Oh,
like
yeah.
That
wow.
just
Wow.
opens up the game for more for white.
Yeah, he didn't believe I could meet him.
And you showed him that he was wrong.
Right.
Oh,
And queen h5.
right.
Now here, I know he was planning rook e7. He almost played it, but what he missed was knight f8. And sure, he doesn't get mated, but knight to g6 is a threat as well as mate.
That's true. That's horrible.
Ah.
Yeah.
So he had to back down his original.
But
thought
this
and
is
play it.
actually an interesting try, and
Right. Now,
So-
interesting. Before rook takes g8,
okay.
I did consider queen takes f7 instead, but
Ah.
it
I was
fails
thinking
many
this
ways.
move was,
Yeah, queen takes f7, rook takes g3. The problem is king f2, he has bishop h4. King h2, he has bishop e5. And he can always block the check with the bishop. He was planning something even
You can't,
more.
wait, king h2, bishop e5, can't you play bishop f4?
Right, but he had something even more evil in mind. I didn't see this, luckily I avoided it. Queen takes f7, rook takes g3, king f2, knight to d7.
No, I want to go
incredible
h2,
move.
I want to go h2.
H2, knight to d7 is his incredible response. He's winning.
d7, just.
He can sack his knight because queen takes c3. He'll mate me before I mate him.
And your queen is way out of play on
Yeah, yeah,
d7, doing nothing.
Yeah. And I got a little lucky. I didn't see knight to d7, but bishop e5 or bishop h4 was enough to freak me out.
Now you're trapping him with the queen e8
Right.
mate.
He thought
What-
he had knight
So
takes h6.
what
here, but he
happens
missed
on
mate.
queen c3? Oh, then
That's a fun line. So queen takes c3 runs into queen g4.
and then he has
And
to
if
throw
bishop
something into
g5,
g5.
bishop takes g5,
Bishop
queen
c1
takes
at the end,
a1,
right?
Bishop
check.
c1.
Bishop c1.
Right.
I was hoping you'd see
Bishop
bishop
That's-
h6.
Okay.
That's
Now-
very nice.
If he interposes the other way,
Yeah,
queen
what-
g4, knight to g5, bishop takes g5, queen takes a1, there I got to play king f2 because his bishop's still covering f6. But king f2, he's got no more checks and his king's still getting mated. I was hoping he would interpose with the knight because bishop c1's cooler, but
But
either way, he interposes.
yeah.
Yeah.
This was king h1. Nick liked that.
Got to
The-
use all your pieces.
Yeah, when you attack
That's
with the
nice.
king, it's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, and there's
Oh yeah,
just
the
no
last
defense
trick
here.
there. So I
Yeah.
do need to play queen to g4 and not bishop g7 because bishop g7, bishop takes g7, rook takes g7, knight f6 defense.
Yeah,
So queen to g4
Yeah.
is the way to win.
yeah. No, this is very well done, very accurate
And then queen
play.
to g2 is
Queen
the
to
easy
g2
finish.
is very nice. Yeah, very quiet, just quiet.
But I did get lucky in a few places. Like I didn't see his knight to d7 defense, and there were some other things maybe. I wasn't like 100% on everything.
It was a good game. It was a good game and well played. Yeah.
Develop your pieces, don't always take pawns.
And you have the problem of playing the best players on the opposing team. So you're just like, you can't. You're going to be playing even stronger players tomorrow. So
She's our all-star.
right. And
Do you think she's going to play Steven Zerk tomorrow? What's your guess?
No, because how is that match going? That
Yes,
game.
Oh
I
Was,
yeah,
was
let's look at the
curious
games right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's look at the games, and so
Because
that would help.
we're going to play the team on board one, right?
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah. You're going to play the winner of this match.
Right.
I have to be white tomorrow, right?
So
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
me too
they're
as
not
well.
going to give us three blacks. in
I
a
don't
row.
want black, but I'll take it.
We have to have.
this
You
looks
guys-
like
you
a
guys have to have
technical
two
win
blacks
for
too,
one.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? A technical win for white, huh? For
Yes.
sure.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
so.
Yeah, without, there's not even any pawn
no.
weaknesses or anything?
It's
This
down a
is
piece.
Oh,
Okay.
yikes.
Like
black's,
two pawns.
yeah, but,
Okay, so Steven will win this.
yeah, I would think so. I would think so.
Keaton's a good friend of mine, but
But
I'd rather
he's-
not play his team. I'd rather play the other team.
Okay,
So,
right.
Yeah.
so I don't know what to say about this game. Like,
Well, I mean, we can look at the position and think that, you know, and see that.
I want him to not lose, but I also don't want his team to win. So,
Can we see
Yeah,
the board
sorry.
four?
Weirdo.
What's that?
Can we see the board fours?
Yeah, well, let's look at all of them.
Okay,
Uh,
we assume Stephen wins that. Let's see who's winning
All right,
the
I
second.
think Kyron's having trouble making progress.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks like the exact same position.
He was, we thought this was a winning ending about 5-6 moves ago, but now that F4 pawn's
I don't think
needs
there's a way.
attention.
There's a way. I don't think there's a way.
You guys think this might be winning for white, or white's pressing?
Now we don't think it can be won.
I think-
But when the pawn was on H2 and G3, we thought there was good winning chances, but
Oh, nice.
Well, I did see one game between Mezgin Amanov and Florin Felikin or something, and it was an endgame really similar to this, and it was even more drawish, but somehow Amanov was able to pull off the win, and he said it was like technically winning. Like everyone he showed was just like mocking him for not taking a draw,
Right.
but
Yeah.
like after some really dirty maneuvering, White was
But
he was
black
able to
has
win.
chances based on the weak F pawn too. So
Yeah.
white maybe played a little rashly, bringing the pawn up to G4.
What happens after rook c8? Oh, bishop b4.
Wait, could white have put? I mean, could black have played like D3?
Yeah, and then playing into rook D4 and
Yeah,
stuff
and if
like that.
bishop
I know,
E4,
yeah.
rook
Bishop E4.
D2.
Oh, that's genius.
Yeah, but you're not. Oh, you want to go rook f2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how you can even find
Probably
yourself
doesn't
getting
work 'cause of
mated in
G5.
these positions.
But you just.
Oh wait,
FG.
yeah, you just take it.
Okay,
Oh,
so
you can play CD in rook e4.
Paul, what happens now on rook c8? You play bishop b4,
I guess bishop B4.
but then rook to c6, and
And rook to C6.
has black screwed this up?
Well, on rook C8, maybe bishop E3.
Still rook c6.
Bishop F4. Can you take the pawn?
If I take.
After rook F6, you
Yeah,
can
rook
play
F6.
bishop F4.
Oh, okay.
So that, there's
then-
that possibility.
Bishop f7. And then rook g6 is always.
Rook
threat.
C8.
So rook c8, bishop e3, rook c6, right? And then what is black
No,
makes
no,
a
no,
wing?
rook,
Bishop
rook,
to D.
rook c8, bishop e3, bishop to d3,
Rook D5 check.
king to e4.
It's true. What about black playing D3 too? That
After rook
possibility.
c8?
Yeah, trying to play rook D4 and rook F4.
So bishop takes.
Um,
Oh, then you have rook d5 or rook d4.
rook D4, bishop E4.
No, you just have rook d5 first and then rook d4.
Uh-huh,
Okay, but now I see.
yeah. There's that possibility too.
Rook c8, d3, bishop d3, rook,
d5.
Check. And then rook D4 check.
king to f3,
Rook takes F4 check.
king to g3.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
Oh, then what, bishop e3,
Rook E8.
and then bishop has to go back to d2.
d4.
Yes, it's probably black can hold on there.
Could black have taken on F4 with the bishop too? Maybe.
What line? What's the line?
Yes, but he didn't need to allow this. He misplaced his rook on d7.
Let's look at the fourth board.
This is the third.
Oh, this is the third board.
What's going on?
This is going better and better for black, I suppose.
Looks good to me.
Right, there were some problems. This happened. We had problems with the DGT thing here.
So this
Black
is the
is-
correct position?
Yeah. So this is, you know, Gabriel Sam, he outrates his opponent by 300 points. I mean, that's not always an indication of what's going to happen, but still, black seems to be a little better here.
Yeah, so rook c7, rook d2 is a little bit annoying.
Yeah, black has just, you know. So, and then finally on the board 4 that you were mentioning, yikes.
This was a wild and crazy game.
Yeah, this has been an
Yeah.
incredible game.
Wait.
Whoa.
So black's up in exchange?
Right.
Wait, so rook g6, bishop takes. I was gonna say rook g6 start is mate, but you don't want to lose your rook.
It might be the right move. It takes away a square, a
It-
flight
It's
square.
it's close to working because rook g6 take, g3, knight e3. There's king f3.
Right.
I
So-
think there's checkmate pawn to g3, right? And king g
King g5 has to be played.
g5 and bishop takes f4. Yeah, I think it is, no?
We have
Yeah,
rook
doesn't that
g6,
just win?
and rook g6,
But-
bishop
Oh, but
g6,
then
G3
it'll
is
be
g3,
bishops
and
of
then
opposite
king
color
g5.
endgame, right?
Wait, no, but g3, king g5, bishop f4, king g4. Oh, knight e3.
Knight e3.
knight e3.
But black can play rook f, or g3.
King g5, bishop f4, rook
In
takes.
the chat, Elliot said bishop f4.
Oh.
Oh, nice move.
Yeah.
Cool move.
What, knight e3?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
you can't
snap.
take the rook. It's mate. What is black gonna
What's
do?
their board force rating?
He's only supposed to be 14.
1400 player.
Wow, okay.
He's very strong.
This monster 14.
Because Ami is a good player.
So what if black backtracks here with king g5 or something like that?
I mean,
Interesting.
minimally knight f1.
Taking it.
And then we have probably a draw, right?
What?
That's
White's
a
up a piece.
Oh, white's up a piece. Yep. Why is white up a piece?
Because if you count it, 2 is more than 1.
Well, no, there's, if king g5, knight f1, bishop f1.
Rook takes.
F1.
Oh, the rook at f1. Well, okay, the rook at f6, taking at f1. Okay, yeah,
Black just
that's
lost.
true. That's true.
Yeah, I don't think black's getting out of this.
Because black has to move the wait. Yeah, black has to move the rook to like e1 and then bishop f4.
Rook to e1, maybe you have rook to
Rook e1,
g6.
And bishop g6, bishop f6 mate.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
It's like
Wow.
it's like our problemist at the Mechanics Institute.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, there's
Yeah.
also rook f5.
that looks like something
Oren
that'd be in the
Wool
5,
is a
3, 3, 4 book.
1400 player and has
The
been
Susan,
playing
Sophie-
some incredible chess
poker
in
book.
this
The
game.
big one, yeah.
What does black do here?
I don't know.
Which Derek made Grandmaster?
Yeah, I didn't think you made grandmaster.
Not yet.
IMF.
He's very close.
Well, I think it's because Nick de Firmian's name is probably still on there somewhere.
Oh, right there. Oh, I see.
Right. Rook g6 is an amazing move. Do you think that's going to get played in this game?
Rook f5 is also a possibility. It's a matter of taste.
Yeah.
And will rook h1 be a possible reply?
Here?
No, but to the rook g6 move.
So
Oh.
that means Keaton's team is winning.
No, but okay, let's say rook e1, right? And then
No,
Rook
rook
F-
e1, bishop g6.
You can go rook
Bishop
F5.
g3, we just get a rook. Oh.
Oh no,
What
but
the
king
Now
G5?
bishop
we can
g3
get-
check.
oh, I see.
Oh, no,
Wait, I
then
say
wait
said rook
g5.
g5. I mean rook g6, right?
rook g6, rook h1.
Yeah, that's my defense.
But rook f
Can we go rook F5 instead?
rook f5, rook h1 take, Rook f5, rook h1, take. Knight takes, king g5. Knight g7. Then king, rook e7. Problem is bishop d6 doesn't work.
Is rook to g6 a blunder because of rook h1?
Maybe.
Takes,
Yeah, that's what
bishop
we're looking at.
g6, bishop
I
f6,
think
king
it's-
to g3. We don't have a,
So he could blunder rook g6.
What about?
Yeah,
oh,
rook
no.
maybe, it's a draw.
I was gonna say rook f1, but then rook e3.
Oh wow, bishop f4.
That threatens
You have to
g3.
take on e3, right?
Yeah, take on e3.
Oh wait, I think that's winning for white. Because rook takes e3.
How do you stop rook
takes
f4?
Rook f4, yeah. But maybe you could go bishop g6.
A rook f4.
What? Bishop g6 where?
Oh wait, no.
Black has to put all his pieces where they're protected.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think white's winning this.
You've got to hand it to this player here.
Yeah, very good.
So
That's
rook
played an
to
amazing
e2, is there
game.
a,
Oh wait, no. After rook takes e3, bishop takes e3, rook g8. Oh no, that's still wait. Because bishop g6 at the end.
Wait, what?
Okay, so rook takes e3, bishop takes e3, rook g8. If rook f4, rook g4.
Okay, but e7.
What if
I'm
rook
threatening
e,
rook f8.
what if rook to e2 here?
Oh wait, no, I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm not threatening rook f8, but I'm threatening e8.
What if rook to e2 here?
Rook e2 here.
Then rook g6?
No, bishop takes.
Oh yeah, the bishop, bishop can no longer go to f6, yeah. And it was played.
Rook e2 is played.
you need a real move here.
What
Every,
the heck, dude? This is. How are they playing these moves so fast?
I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say anyone's winning anymore.
Yeah, no.
What if the move is
Bishop h6 with the idea of rook
Yeah, bishop
f4
h6
mate.
was thinking that move too.
okay, that adds to it, that's good.
That looks like it wins.
Where?
Bishop h6.
Bishop h6, rook,
F4.
Okay, but there's no way he's going to play
Rook to
bishop
G8.
And if
h6.
rook e3, rook
What do
f4
you-
mate.
He's got 10 minutes.
Bishop h6 isn't that hard to see. It just took us
No,
like.
okay, wait. Bishop h. Wait.
If rook e3, rook f4 is still made, isn't that crazy?
bishop h6, rook g8, how do we finish it?
Forced.
Bishop h6 rook g.
e7.
Or just why not do rook rook f4? Doesn't quite do it.
Yeah, still not over.
Wait, no. If rook g8, you can play rook takes on e7,
Oh yeah.
and you can't stop.
So
Oh, you have bishop g6. You have bishop g6. There.
Wait, what are we talking
So rook
about?
bishop h6, rook g8, rook f4, rook g4, rook
Oh.
takes, hg, e7, bishop g6.
You can always take with the knight if you want.
Also g3, white's getting mated on e1. Which is kind of funny.
Bishop h6, rook g8. What about g e7 there?
Yeah.
Wait, e7 here?
No, bishop
No, no.
h6
In the chat.
first.
yeah, then e7, you must be winning.
E7 first?
Or e7
Oh my
first.
goodness.
Oh,
Wait,
Oh.
what?
I was gonna say king h1, but I was like, that doesn't threaten anything.
What does
It
that
doesn't
do?
threaten.
That's a blunder.
Oh
He thought he was
no.
threatening. Oh.
Because
Oh.
g3 check is no move for white. Oh, sad.
Can white play rook takes e3
There
now?
was some brilliant moves going on here, and now we've got this.
Maybe it's another genius move. Don't. Maybe his idea is to play rook h6, g3. How do you stop it?
Where are
Well,
you
that's
talking-
another
Oh, first of all,
story.
black can force a perpetual with rook e1, rook e2.
What about we just
Okay,
bishop
no,
one,
okay.
pawn c3?
Maybe he's trying to gain time because he thinks
There's
that.
no increment.
Oh wait, true. Okay.
So bishop
But
e4 here.
Why not just rook
or-
takes e3?
Yeah, rook e3 is
Draw.
probably good.
But now black might be able to win. I wouldn't risk it though.
Well, okay,
At
shall
this
we
point, I'd
move
be
on
perfectly
here?
fine with a draw.
Wow, that was a good game.
Yeah, that's
Um,
interesting.
Ladia won his game.
What?
Oh, here's
Oh, nice.
here's
That's not even possible.
here's Kevin Pang versus Gabriel Bick.
Ooh, he gave up that E5 pawn.
Wow,
Yeah, I think.
this
This should be a
is
draw, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
but, you know,
theoretical draw, but you were. Yeah,
I feel
you
like
should have
it's-
had this
I feel
with the E5 pawn.
I feel like this is really hard to draw with the pawns on f4 and h2. They're split pawns. And
Yeah,
this
if our rook
game
lands on
looks
e4
like
at
it
the
took
right
a
time-
lot of wild turns
Well, the king
here.
should be able to go to G3.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure exactly where the players went right or wrong here. Shall we go up to the top boards again?
Sure.
Sure. This is your opponents.
Knight c5.
So-
Oh, g4 is the threat.
Is
Wait,
this
G
going
takes
to be
F4?
knight and bishop versus king?
What
Wait,
was
what's
that
wrong with G
move?
takes
Why not
F4?
pawn
G4.
takes F4? What's
What's stopping black?
He wants bishop takes and then g4 and then either knight d3 or knight e4 or
Wait,
knight
what?
e6. Sorry.
very nice getting a fork? Pawn
Yeah.
takes F4, bishop takes F4.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And then
Oh.
g4 check. Yep. Yep.
That's
Good
smart.
technique.
Yep.
He has 9 seconds. Oh, he fell
Oh,
for it.
bishop
This is a
F4.
very dramatic game. You can't see this, folks, but
Should have an extra
White
30
has
minutes.
very little time.
Bishop takes f4. Don't play it.
Bishop f4 looks immediately decisive
Oh, the 30 minutes.
because of 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so and that was seen. This game is close to over, huh?
Well,
E5?
black has to
Yeah.
play E5,
But
not.
then
Bishop
h6
takes
is
H6.
lost.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Good technique.
So that game looks like it's headed for a win. Let's see how Kyron is doing.
Actually,
Still
even
looks like the same
going
position.
back, yeah, he bishop takes F4, G4 check, you go king back to G6. He has to take the bishop, E5 check, and H5.
Are you
reduce
looking
it.
at this game here?
Yeah, he does bishop F4, G4 check, king to G6.
Ah, there you go.
King must take, pawn to E5,
King E4.
pawn to H5.
Knight
Knight
e6.
E6.
Knight e6.
Should be winning with the knight, but you're getting down there.
But isn't black in Zugzwang?
Now, can you just bishop to bishop b6?
Where?
Bishop b6.
Oh, bishop e6
Yeah.
here.
G4, knight E6.
Right, in fact,
Ah.
king F, bishop takes G4 check, king takes F4, maybe king F7s. It should be winning with the knight against the one pawn, but you're reducing the material.
Yeah.
Is knight e6 even winning there? Because pawns are split.
Oh, no, better to have the knight and the extra piece.
No, I'm just wondering, just for reference.
Can move this king back to E4.
So black is toying with the idea of playing d3 here. It's hard to believe that black is in time trouble, and which you can't see back at home, folks. So white still has some hope of.
It's moved
I think
Yeah.
that they still have like
Oh.
31 and 41 minutes.
Oh, I see. Okay, so there's that's right. There's the
Yeah, these
second
clocks
time
they have
control.
to take down to 0 to get
I
to
got
30.
you. Okay. Anything else that's going on here? This game is still looking a little difficult for white, but maybe a little easier to defend now, huh?
I think white is fine.
E4. Why should the knight be worse than the bishop here? If I get the knight to d5.
Still some hopes for black, maybe slight hopes.
This match is really hinging on game 4, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
I think
Let's
we're
watch
gonna-
it.
down to
Yo,
this game.
oh,
What?
Oh,
what happened? What happened?
a tragedy.
Wait,
a
what?
This is the
tragedy.
game that was,
Ah.
well, after King H1, it was clear that
Yeah.
White has lost the thread of the game, I think.
C3?
Just
Yeah,
C3.
Now he should go back king to E2.
What?
Why would you go
and
knight
that's-
f5?
This is
That's-
just capitulation here.
Oh, wow.
Black is out.
Oh man.
Takes on, end of the game.
Yeah, this is very,
Oh, rookie one.
something happened here. Okay, so this game, a
So it
lucky,
looks like,
a
Steven
very
Zerk's
lucky
team
win
King G3
there.
might be a better move than rookie one there.
Oh, such a shame. That
Yeah, wow.
was,
So this,
He
this,
had enough time though. I don't know how.
this is looking like it's
I mean, he is
probably
only
going to be a
1400.
drawn
Yeah.
match. You guys might find yourself like in
Sole lead.
sole lead.
No, I think Steven's team will win.
Well, either way,
Oh, that's
4-0.
That's right. That's right. Steven's team is
Wait,
winning.
what are the tiebreakers
Oh, they are?
right now?
No.
Yeah,
Right.
Steven and
Oh,
I are on the
Steven's-
same team.
Are we up on tiebreak?
Oh, that's right. That's
Stephen will
right.
win, and
So basically,
So it's up to Kyron to try to.
if Kyron wins, then they tie.
I don't know if our
Is
tiebreak's
that
that
the
good.
case?
We have a lot of 2.5
Yeah.
wins.
We have 2.5 wins.
Yeah, that hurts our tiebreaker.
Yeah. We just need to win the matches.
Well, no. If Kyron wins, that will draw the match, right?
Yeah. I don't think he's winning.
Yes.
No.
No.
We have Oren and Wool as winner. No, we have
Yeah.
Kyron as the sole winner, right? No, Kyron and Zirk, if Kyron wins. Well, I can't even count to 4 anymore. What's wrong with me?
Well, I feel like Steven Zerk's team's going to win because board 1 and 4 win, and then they're going to draw one of the games on 2 and 3.
Yeah.
No, board 1, wait a minute. Board 1 is won by Zirk. Oh, and
Board 4 is on
Vidya,
him.
that's on his team, right?
Yeah.
I get confused
So they only
here.
need a single draw between 2 and 3.
Right,
Okay.
Is
gotcha.
anyone else 3-0 right now?
Yeah, there's one other team.
1-3 is playing a
The-
2.5.
The pink
Yeah,
fluffy
Latia's team.
unicorns.
They have to play Latia's team.
That was our opposing team.
That was
Right.
my frisbee team name in 6th grade.
Was it a good team?
No.
What happens if the Berkeley Chess School has to play the Berkeley Chess School?
That could happen.
Yeah. The mechanics teams have already
Can we
played
woo
each
it?
other. Yeah.
Do we see the names? You know the.
Paul, what's happening on the
pink,
third match?
fluffy
Boards
Unicorns.
9 to...
Unicorns, yeah. That's
Okay.
I thought this guy is someone like ladies, you know. So, yeah.
This game, hold on. This game, there's this.
Oh.
I think
This
you
is
can
this
draw.
is actually dangerous though. Is it?
Rook H7.
Wait, H3, H6. Do you want to go Rook H7 trade pawns?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I feel like that's still a draw.
I just played
Well, I
that.
guess you do.
Rook
And then
G.
Rook
Wait, Rook
G7.
G7.
Rook G7 looks pretty straight.
Rook G7, Rook D2.
Rook G7, Rook check, and then Rook G6, and you're going to pick up the pawn at
Yeah.
F4. So maybe that's not such a good move.
Maybe just go alongside Rook A7.
I think this has been seen before, this position, probably a bunch of times.
I think Black
Wait,
can
can you go-
sort of push this.
Can you go Rook H6 here?
So
Rook
the
H6,
same-
Rook D2, and then Rook D6.
And then H4?
What is that? Oh.
It's the idea of playing H5.
Oh, Gabe's not pushing.
But once you play H5, the rook is going to come back down with a check.
But King D2?
Yeah. I'm not sure.
And then G5.
What do you think, Nick?
But King takes
Well,
one.
if you want to play a theoretical
Oh,
ending,
okay.
you can get to
Thought you
the
were going down.
F and G pawn against the H
Yeah, that's what
pawn.
I was thinking.
Yeah, Rook H6
That's a
is good.
theoretical draw, but you have to play it well.
Okay.
And he's already got his king in slightly bad position.
In the other, Ladia Jirasek won this game.
How did he win this? I thought like only Black could push.
No, he was pretty much
Oh, okay.
dominating
so,
the
never
whole
mind.
game, actually.
Really? Can we go earlier?
Sure.
I didn't see that position.
This
Yeah, I
one-
thought this was good for white because better pawn structure, but
Black made a couple of things that made it a lot worse for himself. I'm not sure. I wasn't where they got to
here
this.
I thought it was okay. Maybe, I don't know.
This is an instructive mistake, as it
Yeah.
turns out.
B6?
Has to play A5 here, right? But watch what happens. Boom.
Oh.
Suddenly,
Wow.
suddenly,
GM technique.
horror, difficulty in defending this side.
B4 is such a good move.
And then white opens it up here.
Yeah, never mind about
And
black
then
being
it
okay.
opens it up here. And the tactics are going to favor white, I guess, with the bishop. And I'm not sure what should go on, but
Oh, nice.
Oh, they have a check on E6.
yeah. Boom, boom, boom. So
Oh, the B4.
that was a
that's
pretty
nice.
straightforward. Yeah, B4 was a nice
Yeah.
idea. Mm-hmm.
B4 is so
Should have
instructive.
played A5.
A5.
Yeah, if Black had
Or
played
just-
A5, he probably would have been sort of okay.
Or
I
just
don't know
or
why
just
B6.
not touch the
Yeah.
not touch the
B6.
pawns at all, right? Is that okay too?
And what about
Oh,
this
why is-
game?
White's
This is-
pushing, looks like.
Yeah. This has been another really nicely played game by the lower rated player. Remember, we left off with Bishop E2 here. Bishop E2
Yeah.
was a very threatening Rook G6, and also Rook C3. Remember this? So Black
Oh.
just felt like he had to give up the exchange, and
G4 is a little weird.
yeah, it is.
Ryan's
Especially
team
since it
a-
gives up the E4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that.
Is Ryan's team a major favorite
Kind of.
against them?
Yeah.
I mean,
I thought his opponent was 1700.
Something like that.
But White's kind of bind on the position with this.
remember this is board 3. So,
Yeah, but isn't Nicholas 1700?
I don't know.
Yeah, this is a big 1955.
Oh.
This is outranked by 350 rating points.
So
Doesn't
what should White's plan here be? Like
Yeah,
queen
that's
e4,
when-
rook c6?
Yeah, well, Rook C8.
Yeah, Queen F4.
Yeah,
Seven,
rook
yeah.
c8.
Yeah. Because rook c6 immediately there's e4, so maybe queen e4 first.
I don't think Black's gonna hold this.
Well, I mean, it's Ryan. He's pretty good at chess.
But, I mean.
White
the
looks
moves are
like
easy,
he's
though.
much better here.
Yeah.
Rook c8 looks like the
Yeah,
end.
Rook C8, Rook
Oh,
D8.
does
I mean,
oh yikes.
Yeah.
If it's that easy, then.
Well, I mean, okay, rook c8, rook e8, rook.
Queen a8.
And it's played.
No, he played Rook D8 instead.
Well,
Let's not be picky here.
That's
We're
actually
not
a little,
kindergartners.
that's a little different.
I
I
basically
wanted to
am.
go queen e8, recapture on c8 and go queen f5 check, but
It's a little subtle differences like that.
but this is still, no, you're right, you just double,
Yeah.
he has to take.
Why don't we just take on e8 and play queen f5?
Also super.
Oh yeah, threatening Rook C8.
Or rook c7 if you want to be stupid.
What?
Actually, he is going for Queen
How is
F5.
this?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Queen f.
Even any queen exchange here is going to win for White too. Probably.
Yeah, the bishop's just too
Yeah,
bad.
so this is
They might draw this match.
Queen d5. Okay, I guess that's good. Good enough. So queen f7 has to be played, right?
But the ending's hopeless, so you should try king f8 and pray.
that he
Oh,
hasn't
I
played
forgot
Rook
King F8 was-
You
C7.
guys probably
Rook-
don't know about that. Praying is one of your best chess strategies.
Rook C7
always
is
lose when I
Zutzwang.
Okay, but e4.
Great
Rook d7. Rook c7. So king f8, rook c7, e4, rook d7.
Oh, that's
E3,
yeah.
rook d8.
What are we
Yeah.
talking about?
Uh huh.
Okay, well, this is the other chance, I guess.
There's stuff to pray for here. So check. So
Rook checks, bishop h6, queen b7 check.
Wait, why not just rook h3, king g6?
yeah, that's what we're looking at.
No, he said bishop h6.
Oh.
Yeah, king g6, queen e4, king f7. No. Ring around the rosy for the black king.
Maybe he's
Queen
gonna
F5
take a
was
draw.
winning, right, before?
What?
Yeah,
Instead of
Queen
Queen
F5.
E5, Queen F5 was winning
Absolutely.
for white.
I mean, this is still probably winning.
This is still winning. What do
He's
you
not
mean
showing the best
probably?
technique though.
Yeah, it is.
He's getting
Oh, well.
nervous, I think, but he has 40 minutes. Like, just figure it
And
out.
as he
this was the 1400 player drawing with the 1800 player on
Impressive.
the
Yeah,
board
Ben's
on the
doing
board
great.
4 of this team. So Ben Lemkin from the
Berkeley Chess School.
yeah, I was going to say British Chess Club again for the umpteenth time.
You-
Drew
you-
2000 yesterday too.
Okay, wow, so he's having a great tournament. Streaky.
Yeah.
Oh, and this ended up a draw.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's a draw.
But
So-
Well, if the black bishop is on g4,
You have to maneuver the bishop to.
and the
Seems
king
like a
on
draw.
b7, there's just nothing you can possibly do.
Then is it draw?
yeah, I guess if the
And they
bishop
agree to
goes to
draw, yes.
g4, if the black bishop is on g4, it's going to be difficult for white to do anything.
What if white goes nuts and plays G4 right now?
Then
That's a great
like
chess
that
move.
That is.
That is a great chess
I,
move.
I knew you
I mean-
ate
Yeah.
something for
Yeah.
lunch that.
Before you offer a draw, you
Take
should
on
consider
G4
pawn to
with the
G4.
Absolutely.
f6 g4.
And then white goes after h5 somehow.
No, F
There's
takes,
always
F
bishop
takes.
d2.
I would play G4 maybe.
I mean, you have to try to.
Yes.
Wait, so F G4, are you going bishop D4 or king E4? Bishop D4, right?
And then bishop g2,
King F4.
bishop f3.
Yeah, black can just jettison the pawn with g3 himself, right?
Ah, that's true.
Yeah. So after g4, white has to play bishop g3 right away
It's a
to
try.
prevent black from playing
But-
pawn to g3 himself.
But you have to save your b pawn also.
Yeah, they agree to a draw. Okay, this is great chess here, folks. Shall we go back up to board 1?
I'll sneak
I
it.
think it's
Okay.
game over. The clocks aren't
Thank you,
moving.
Brian.
Thank you.
Do I get to join your team?
I think they already set up the kings.
Temporarily.
Okay.
Can Nick play board 4 for us tomorrow?
Yeah, come join me in the commentary. Bye, Brian.
See you.
Congratulations.
Can I receive some criticism for my game now?
Sure, let's look at your game.
As long as we don't look at mine, it's fine.
Okay, you have your choice. Oh yeah, this game.
How did you do this morning?
I drew.
Okay. Blackmar Deemer Gambit declined. Is that what this
Not
is?
quite. I have an extra tempo on bishop F4.
Right, right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Nick was saying he would have taken the pawn
Where?
on F3.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the fun line. I mean, this guy just, yeah, spoiled all the fun. Yeah, I feel like.
Black.
Oh, I thought about like queen d6 and then f4 because I want to play maybe d5.
Keep the queens on. Yeah.
Okay, but I didn't really get that much here, which I was sort of disappointed. Yeah, I was hoping he would never see this b5 idea, but he found it. And he played pretty solid.
Yeah. Queen C3 there?
But he just takes and plays c5.
Yeah.
I think only black can try to win that.
Things started to get kind of good for you, I thought, with this pawn sacrifice.
Yeah, I sort of like the pawn sacrifice, but
But maybe it's just not enough.
yeah, because I have to take here, right?
Oh, do you have to take?
Well, the thing is, I saw that they already won, so I was like, queen d6, I'll never lose.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I
So-
see. Yeah, that's a good
And
point.
maybe I can push a little bit, but and then I sort of got pushed. A
No,
little bit.
it's a very good team decision, yes.
Okay.
Okay, there
Is
we
there
are.
a way to like if this were a team tournament, is there a way to like try to get something better out of this anywhere?
This position, if you trade
Maybe
and
queen
play
e1?
pawn to g5, does that improve anything?
Oh, I didn't even consider that.
Queen takes d1.
Oh,
no,
sorry.
take and then g5.
Oh.
Oh, taking G5. Okay.
But even knight d. Oh, rook e6, right.
Knight h5.
Knight h5 seems like the only move.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's not really good. It's
But can I try playing like queen e1 or something? And
oh yeah, if in a different team situation you would have
Queen
tried
E1 is
that.
a-
is queen e1 like? Do you think it's a better try practically than queen d6?
Well,
Queen e1,
Okay.
knight d5.
Yeah.
Yeah, knight d5 and then c6.
Oh right, okay. Never mind. I'm not trying to lose here.
Knight d5 and c6 might be a
Yeah,
tough nut to crack. Although white can always have some play on the light squares.
Right. I can try rook d2 maybe. How would that fare out?
you could, but you know, with the team situation, this was
Right.
really
Now, what about this? This is
I thought it was better here, but like his king
black.
got
Is,
really active.
black is very quick in the center here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually the pawn this yeah.
Oh, why did you didn't want to go right to b3?
I thought like for some reason I visualized like bishop c4. If he ever plays knight f4, I always have bishop f1. And then I felt like I could never lose that position.
Okay. That's,
I'm not really sure.
you're probably fine. He just comes out quickly with d5, king d6.
Yeah. But at the same time, I thought like d5, bishop d3. If he plays h6, then he's losing a tempo as well. So it's maybe he's gain some, lose some.
I think you're fine in that ending. So
Top 3 games again.
Yeah, we'll look at the top 3 games and we see that
he resigned.
he resigned. Black resigned. I mean, I guess there's still a few moves to go here.
That sucks for Keaton. But
Yeah, he could have played a little longer there.
in this position?
Yes, like king e7.
How does white win this? White gets.
It's winning, of course, but you're hoping the white king will go around to the queen side, and you.
Yeah. What's the safest bet for white here?
Oh, if white is careful, you just make sure you save all your pawns. You're going to trade off one of them, but
There's no real secret to winning this, I guess. Just don't trade off all your pawns.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit premature, I would say.
Yeah.
I would play on.
It's not the easiest to win, I guess.
Speaking of which, this game, White's king has migrated all the way over to the queen side, and he's played f5 himself.
Oh,
so
now
wait, this
he's-
is a must-win game, right? And is there another must-win game?
Let's see, the top.
Oh, Gabe Sam has to win, and
Yeah.
Kyron has to win.
That's
Oh,
better for
perfect.
us though, because if you draw.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's happened?
White has lost a piece.
But at the same time, I would prefer to play the other team.
White's lost a piece somehow.
Wow.
I don't
And
know.
this
Only
is-
you would
is
suffer
lost.
against Steven Zierk, and
This
then
is
like
lost.
maybe we'll have
We're
to
not
have
playing Keaton's team.
It's
anyways.
resignable. He
Yeah.
either
They've
gets
had two blacks as
checkmated
well.
or trades queen.
Okay,
No, we
so
Wait, I'm so confused.
they have.
no, I'm saying if
Rousus is my
team
second,
wins-
has come
just need a
back
draw
from the
right now.
dead
Yeah,
here.
I'm fine with playing Zierk. Because
Yeah.
like I can lose and you guys can win.
Self.
What happened in this game?
Uh,
Oh, this is completely over.
Okay, so it
HG
looks
looks
like
like mate.
it looks amazingly like. Well, I guess Zurich's team is winning because. Well, everything will depend on the Kyron Griffith game, right?
Oh, can we look at the
This game
Games.
is one for black.
Oh, okay. So Kyron has to win.
King G4, Queen F5, and Bishop F6 check, or Queen G2, just trade queens. Just trade queens, right? That's gonna win, right?
That it's resignable,
I
yeah.
certainly hope so.
Okay, so that means that LM to GM won the match,
Really?
What?
right?
Wait, but I thought
Wait, which one's LM to GM?
the
Well, Gabriel Sam,
Zurich.
Wait,
I
no,
thought-
but Gabe Sam was on the
Yeah.
other team, so it's still dependent on Kyron's
Yeah.
game,
right, well, Kyron has to win to tie the match.
right?
Okay, but yeah, let's go back. He's now got real winning chances.
Kyron does?
Draw? No?
Let's look at that game, and then,
Ideally, they draw.
so where's White's winning chances?
To play rook takes c5.
Ah.
Rook takes c5.
Is that playing to win?
Well, if that's the only way to tie the match, yeah.
Right, take a chance.
But at the same time, you might lose, right?
Who cares if you lose though?
You've lost the match anyway, so.
Tie breaks.
So black can bring the king up to e7. Oh,
Looks like he's not even gonna allow rook c5.
Wait,
Five.
okay,
Well,
wait. If it
go
were
rook
White's move,
c8,
king
White's move, and
b6.
if it were White's move and they played King b6 earlier, wouldn't it have been Zugzwang?
Well, the black
King
bishop can
h7.
move.
King.
The
Oh wait,
black
no, 'cause-
bishop can move too, to a3 or
Yeah.
something. Very interesting here in the
It
final.
would be a really cool picture if you could move the bishop on c4 to g6. Take. I don't even know.
How could he do that?
I'm not saying it's possible, but I'm saying it'd be pretty cool.
Okay, so, White should go rook c8 here.
Rook c8, and what about rook e7? Then I can get the pawn on g4.
Yeah.
Wait, what about bishop d3?
After
Wait.
So far, White's not allowed black to play rook e7, but he might.
So the problem is like rook c8, rook e7, rook c7, take. Black can always have king f8, or even if you lose the f7 pawn, like it's still probably not winning.
Yeah.
Folks,
Wait.
we are waiting for the results of
Wait,
board
what if-
1
Bishop e5 here.
and board 2.
Bishop e5, rook d6. king
This is
d7.
this is a complete
Maybe you
loss
can
here.
keep
for-
trying, yes.
No, isn't the rook trapped?
Rook d6, king c7. There's no square for the rook.
We're going
Oh,
to take
rook
a
c7.
5-minute break or a 2-minute break and be back after a word from our sponsors. Wait a minute. Okay.
hey.
Okay, folks, we're back and we're wrapping up our coverage here of the ongoing United States Amateur Team West Championship 2020, hosted by the Mechanics Institute, organized by the Mechanics Institute Chess Club, and wrapping up our commentary here. There's still some games going on. The hour is late, and we'll be back tomorrow at noon for more coverage. And Nick,
Well, we
final
know Can You
words.
Woo It is going to be in on the top board tomorrow.
Awesome.
So it's getting down to the wire, some very tough matches. Not quite sure what's happening on the other board. It depends if Kyron Griffith can grind down.
we'll take a quick look
Biome.
at that game. It's still ongoing.
Oh, it's going to last a while.
Going to last for probably all night long. And the other match that's going on here, Rayan on the verge of defeat. Looks like he's close to having a perpetual check here.
Yes, so now he's got a
Something has
perpetual check.
Something has happened.
And they've drawn the game.
And they've drawn the game. So a disaster for Nicholas Jiang, who was winning this game, I think.
Yes, he played wonderfully, but
yeah, couldn't-
Ryan pulled out the draw.
Right, and that means that the Berkeley Chess School, Best Chess School team has won the match. And will either play the other Berkeley Chess School team, Can We Woo It, or the Rouses Is My Second, or LM to GM team. But this game is going to go on for a long time, folks, and I might even be still sleeping before it's finished. So good night from the Mechanics Institute and Chess Club Burlingame. We'll see you tomorrow at noon.